Hey guys, Happy New Year. I'm going to go ahead and try a different one. And if it sounds all squeaky squawky, then I'll just forget this idea. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Uh-oh, now I can hear myself. I'm going to go ahead and try a different one. Oh boy, and if it sounds all squeaky squawky, then I'll just forget this idea. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Uh-oh, now I can hear. Okay, we'll try it one more time. Take your earbuds out if you're wearing earbuds, just in case.
For anyone who's
Okay, that was Elvis singing Auld Lang Syne. Woohoo! Happy New Year. So there's our Elvis for the night. I think this is going to be a really interesting live chat, you guys. Did you see the video that Set the Record Straight posted today? I'm going to take a look here, see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Click. If you haven't watched it yet, you're just gonna be shocked. The title of the new video is Devil's Breath? Was Christopher Watts drugged during a kidnapping attempt gone terribly wrong? I kid you not. How many of you have seen it? Have you seen it? It's a wild one. Hey, little mama. Happy New Year. You know how he doesn't he doesn't talk in them? I don't know. Let's do this instead. Because in that video, he put a clip from Alice Cooper's channel. Let's just go to Alice Cooper's channel instead. It'll take me just a second. I always say that, don't I? It'll take me just a second, and then 10 minutes later, I'm going, where's Elvis? Okay. Oh, I just typed in Alice Cooper. I forgot. Okay, let's see. Here it is. Okay, Honey Badger, good. I see your comment. So copy and paste, enter. Okay, there's the link, Honey Badger. Good. I want to ask you how we should maybe, I don't know what you think. Yeah, Star Mom. Did you get a nap? I didn't. Can you tell? Happy Angie is binging straight. Ooh, Happy Angie had an epiphany. She says 100% sure of what happened. Boom. Happy Angie, if you want to hop up on the panel with us, come on up. Star Mama, anybody, everybody, get your butts up here. Okay, here's Honey Badger. Hi, Honey Badger. How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh shit. Been an interesting couple days, huh?
It's been a shocking couple of days. Oh wait, Callie Girl says, read my comment, please. I saw your comment, Callie Girl, that somebody posted a threat.
Yeah, what's that about?
Because I checked my email and I didn't see a copy of it. Let me double check it. Yeah, I still haven't seen your email. So,
What was the name of the account?
I don't know, because they deleted it, evidently.
Oh, of course. Damn dirty deleters.
Oh, we're going to go ahead and post this comment from Lil About It. It says, Honey Badger and Miss Mensa need to write a book.
Yeah, well, it'll end up getting removed.
Well, yeah, we'd probably use the wrong picture, right?
Right, yeah. Copyright.
Oh, good. Callie Girl says she'll send it now. Good. Thank you, Callie Girl. Okay, I'm going to put the link in. Jason says, can I get a link to Straight?
We've all been trying to get a link to Straight, man.
It begins, doesn't it?
It's very, very mysterious. He pops in and out.
Okay. Now, I'm thinking I'd like to discuss that wild video from today.
Hey, you know what? It makes sense. And if you go back and you look at, I think it was almost around the same time that Mommy Ramblings posted that video with her and Frank. He had made a video, kind of asking questions about that whole WASP scenario. And then I think I recall something where, well, I don't know, but I think it had something to do with like a hypodermic needle. This was a while ago. And I remember that his channel was down after that. And I'd never seen the video, but he had been talking about this like a while ago. And then from the looks of it, right on the heels of that, Frank and Mommy Ramblings are trying to get ahead of all this information that is supposedly coming out from Chris Watts. And the information that's coming out, they're trying to present it in a way that it points as Nicole Kessinger and that guy Jim being involved in some kind of like weird satanic ritual or something. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's where they're going with this. So whatever, there's some really sketchy stuff that's being covered up. I don't know. That's the thing about this case is like there's so much to it. And you could probably explain this a little bit better. I think we were talking about this the other day, Mensa, about how it takes a lot to get to the actual point of what actually happened, right? There's all these things that lead up to that. And it's hard to get people to see, the ending result if you don't see everything that happened that led up to that point. I think you could explain it better.
Man, I wish I wasn't yawning because I'm kind of like right now while you're talking to, I'm reading this threatening crap.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Callie Girl, for sending that. I'm going to try to, oh crap. I'm trying to download it, but I'm going to try to post it. I'm not sure if I can. Let's try it again. It won't let me just save it. I want to just save it.
Can you just copy it and then paste it on a comment that you could put in the comment section? Like,
oh, it's a picture though.
Oh, it's a picture. How is it a picture?
It's a screenshot. So,
okay. I get you.
So I'm saving it right now.
I thought it was a comment or something.
I think if I can, I'm not sure, but I think I might be able to put it up there. So I'll just put threat. Oh, I almost wrote treat instead of threat. Okay, this is going to be a fun live chat. I can tell you. I can tell already. Let's see here. So I'm going to X this out. Okay, good. I didn't X out. Back to the live stream. Okay, now share. Oh, it has to be a video file? Really?
Just read it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I just woke up from a nap too, so I'm a little.
I might be able to do it. I might be able to do it. Let's see. Upload file. And then thread. I'll try it just one time. If it doesn't work, then I won't. Nope. Invalid file type. Okay, I'll read it.
There you go.
Idea. Good idea. Okay, it's from. Now I have to open it back up. Hold on. And I have to make it bigger. I can't make it bigger. Come on. How do I make you bigger? Let's see. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's from, it was posted, it says 7:57 a.m., but it would have been p.m., not a.m. It says it's from Meth Money Benny Sleaze. So it must be like a fake profile from that whole Benny guy. But it's not. I'm not saying it's him. I'm saying it's someone doing a fake profile. This is what he wrote. Quote, I'm just saying, if you let that person on here that doxed Gigi grandbaby, I will come for your page. I may not like them. I have no idea. I may not like them, but that AKA Lips, I know she comes on her on your page.
What the hell kind of, huh?
Yeah. AKA Lips, is that lady, the AD?
I have no idea. It sounds like the ramblings of a junkie.
Well, his name is Meth Money. So it could be. I have no idea.
Well, a lot of the trolls on the Summer Wells case were hired shitheads on the Chris Watts case too. So
that's probably what it is. Yeah, whoever you are, idiot, you are confusing whoever with whoever. So like,
and for whatever disturbing reason, there's a lot of trolls that are all over these cases where parents end up killing or being neglectful toward their children for some odd reason. And most of the trolls that do it have child abuse CPS cases and shit.
Yeah, really? Really? Yeah, so the behaviors don't bother them at all.
No.
I mean, anyone saying I'm coming for the page or whatever, come on.
Who are they telling you not to let on panel? Some lady named Lips?
AKA Lips. So, do they get it?
I hate this fucking community. I fucking hate it.
I know. Do they get it yet that their little tactics are ineffective at best? Like, come on. And I don't think they understand that they're only one of like a couple hundred idiots who have tried, for 3 years. I mean, do they land on this and go, woohoo, I'm going to be the hottest troll of all and try to, harass someone for fun tonight. And they think that they think that we're not just laughing at them.
It's probably on their like to-do list for the day. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
probably get a
really.
to-do list and they have to go around between the ages of 6 and 12 p.m.
And they're probably telling people that they might know, however few, that they have to work tonight.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably a
Yeah,
paid
exactly.
investigators. So yeah, okay. So I think thanks for sending that though, Callie. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you took a picture of it.
Yeah, good
But
job, Callie girl. Good job looking out.
But I think that whoever it is who posted that has the wrong channel. You're harassing the wrong channel, idiot.
Oh man.
Oh Lordy. Okay,
meth is a hell of a drug.
So let's do this. Do you want me to just play a little bit of the Alice Cooper video?
I would actually like to listen to it. I seen the video. I didn't get time to go over there to listen to it, but I would like to hear all the things that they were trying to get ahead of. You know what I mean? And I totally get straight when he says that, because these people have been doing this shit for years. It's like they try to put stuff out there before we actually find it, like in the discovery documents or body cam footage and whatnot. So they're always trying to get ahead of something. And it always seems like they always tell us what they don't want us to know, but they give us some sort of weird excuse for it, so that when somebody does happen upon it, they can say, oh, well, we already debunked that last year. You know what I mean? Because I know that there was some mention of Cece being slapped. I think that has something to do with some footage from Walmart where Shanann had slapped Cece in the middle of the store. And they're basically trying to blame Chris, like he's just, making up stories. Chris, the mastermind of this whole perfectly executed murder. I'm being facetious, by the way. So yeah, I'd like to listen to it. Do you have the link? I think it's in his in the description box. I was going to watch it, but I had stuff going on, and then I needed to get some rest before the live stream because I didn't know how long we were going to be on tonight. Oh, this could get a little crazy. I got a lot to talk about.
I'm sitting here talking, and I'm like, why is she talking over me? And then my little
Did
thing.
you get your coffee yet, Mensa?
I should. I really should. I should just, I'll play the Alice Cooper part, I guess. I don't know how much of it I can stand, though. Because I just don't listen to this crap. When I turn on the Alice Cooper thingy, I'll go make a good cup of coffee. Because I didn't get a nap. I planned on taking a nap, and I didn't do it. So, okay. Okay, let's do it. Does that sound good if I start off the Alice Cooper one?
Yeah, but see, we can't start and stop it, though.
Well, it doesn't take me that long to make a good cup of coffee.
Well, yeah, I guess you can just start it, because usually you got to listen to fucking Alice Cooper say, hi, Scooter. Hi, DIY Mama. Hi, Arts and Craft Lovely. Hey, and then you hear Sandy.
You hear the little bells and whistles, too, every time anyone throws money at her.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not sure, but maybe there'll even be a little Jimmy in the middle.
I do know it's at the beginning of the video. That I do know. So I do know that the majority of what they're talking about is at the beginning of the video.
What you said about slapping, about Cece.
About Cece, yeah.
Yeah, back in 2018 in the Facebook groups, there were people posting stuff about Christopher Watts telling, I think, his cousin or his friend that his wife had slammed Cece into the drywall.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard about that, yes.
And there was a picture of a dent in the drywall. And the people in the Facebook groups were somehow able to measure whatever based on the height of the ceiling and the, this thing. You know what I mean? They kind of analyzed the photo to try to measure. And according to them, it was like an exact measurement for how tall Cece would have been to have her. You know what I mean?
Of course it was. Hey, Kelly girl, Yeah, straights, videos. He's gotten removed a couple times, so I know he's like re-uploaded stuff. But what I had to do was, as I went to like the most recent videos or most viewed, I think you could do, and then that basically pulls up like the best videos that he's got, and then the most recent ones, because it's a mess over there. I think
Hey,
it's
honey,
just because
that's
he's
your-
got messed with so many times.
Can you see the comment on the screen? Can you read it as if you were Alice?
Jimmy, can you hear me? Jimmy, Jimmy.
And now here's one more.
Oh God. Where's my eyeliner, Jimmy? I gotta get on live stream. I need my eyeliner, Jimmy.
Oh, I lied. There's one more. And I promise then I'll go make my coffee.
Jimmy's so mean to me.
No, Jimmy isn't.
The worst was when the poor man fell down the
No.
fucking stairs and she couldn't even care less. She was mad at him because he was making noise. I'm like,
No,
oh my
not
God,
Jimmy.
this poor fucking schmuck.
Jimmy isn't mean to her. Read it again.
It's Jimmy. Jimmy. Miss Mensa's so mean to me, Jimmy.
That's a good one, Happy Angie. Oh my goodness.
Oh, she's fucking god awful, man. She's god awful. She is like one of the most evil people on this platform.
I think she's one of the most dangerous with this whole bullshit with the scumbag attackers.
Oh, no doubt.
Because she comes across, holding those like antique dolls that are used in horror movies and then acting like they're people.
Did you see that Scooter? She does that. And she threatens people with those creepy dolls.
Oh,
she
her
literally
voice?
threatens those people. She'll hold them up to the camera and make threats at people.
Well, she changes her voice too. It's really creepy.
She's a fucking whack job, man. She's a certified whack job. They all are. They all are. Talk about witches. You want to talk about witches? There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to find... Okay, I've got it. Let's see here. If there are commercials, I'm sorry, you guys, but, she's there obviously to make bank, so... I don't know if there will be or not, but I'll go ahead and... I won't be muted, but I'm going to be in the other room, so... I'll be right back, though. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. The title of this stupid video is Breaking News Exposing Liars.
Yeah.
It's called Exposing Liars with Frank and Frankie Rusak.
Oh, yeah, because Frank and Frankie Rusak are so fucking credible, right?
And they're right there to expose liars with Alice Cooper. Okay, let's see. We'll start at the beginning.
Now it should be live.
These are the customers you've been looking for. Reach them.
It's just wrong. All these people making money off of this case. Isn't she the one who complains all the time about people making money off the case of Christopher Watts? Let's see how many commercials there are.
Money isn't worth what those people are doing over there. Money is not worth it. They're going to go down in a blaze of glory.
Here's commercial number 2.
No dollar amount is worth that.
Here's commercial number 2. This one I can actually skip now. Okay, hold on.
Now it should be live.
Oh, it's fine.
All right, let me just go in and get to the chat. Here. Look at people.
Can you hear her okay? She's kind of mumbling.
Yeah, I can hear it. Maybe if you can turn it up, maybe just a hair.
It's cranked all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can hear Frankie Jr. back there.
Okay. All right.
That's her mumbling, not me. She does that kind of whining thing where she goes, eh, eh.
We're live, Frank.
Oh, interesting. Oh, he didn't get the email from that person, Jay. We're live, Frank.
Exactly. Exactly.
Interesting. And then everyone's laughing. Interesting.
All right. So Yeah, the person on the team. Yeah. Okay. Hi, 10th Angel. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Pebbles. Hi, Heather. Juju, Aurora. How's everybody doing? We've got some breaking news. Frank and Frankie are here. We'll let some people get in. We've got 104 right now. We'll let
Hi, everyone.
a few more get in because otherwise we'll be repeating ourselves. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello, everybody.
Ooh. We've got some breaking news.
Breaking news.
There's
That-
Sandy.
Oh my God.
I changed
Yes,
my mind. I'm
Andy.
going to do the mint chocolate chip
Hey,
ice cream
everybody.
instead.
There you go.
Hannah Patty. April. Pink Berry. Bruce here. Okay, well, you know, the other day I was telling you guys about things that are run behind the scenes, channels that are together. Well, I was talking about some channels, and now you have to understand that over the last almost 3 years, there's been teams, investigative teams that have been gathering together information that's pertinent. A lot of it was due with the harassment. That's how it all started.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
But in the course of
Yeah,
that,
that's how it all started. A lot of it
What
had
is?
to do,
What did Frank say? Frank
connected.
just said something. What did he say?
I don't know, but he's laughing. And did you hear what she said? A lot of it has to do with harassment. That's how they started. Really? Really?
They're full
Is
of
that how
shit.
they started? I'm going to back it up.
There's Sandy.
Oh, that laugh.
Hey, everybody. Louise, Hannah Patty, Two Scooter, April, Pink Berry, Bruce here. Okay, well, you know, the other day I was telling you guys about things that are run behind the scenes, channels that are together. Well, I was talking about some channels, and now you have to understand that over the last almost 3 years, there's been teams, investigative teams that have been gathering together information that's pertinent. A lot of it was due with the harassment. That's how it all started. But in the course of that,
More than likely, is that what he said? What did he say?
I don't know, but whatever he said, he's got a huge smile on his face. I guess, just my opinion, I don't think those teams of people who I call scumbag attackers are anything funny.
They're just there attacking people. That's what they're doing. They're collecting data on the people who are talking about the case. That's the only investigating they're fucking doing.
That's not what I'm here to do. But I think you can know. They're the channels that go live with breaking news on the Watts case quite frequently, okay? And that frequent news is filled with insiders that are not real insiders and crap, okay? And it is crap. So we're going to show you that today.
Well, if mommy says so, it must be, right?
From is, in other words, in a script.
There are some really big smiles going on in this video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're probably going to make channels angry.
Well, we're just here to answer questions after you read these.
But we're going to give you some idea of what's happening, because in this, what's coming out and what came out with Cece being slapped, if any of you heard that, is all in this information that's supposed to be coming from Chris. Okay? Chris is supposed to be speaking with people and giving this information out. Now, I will let you know that he is not saying Shadan killed anyone, but he's not saying he killed anyone either. Okay? It's all about now connecting NK and Jim with various people all over.
Yeah, blame it on NK and Jim, huh?
I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that's.
Did you know there is a potent 3,000-year-old Amazonian drink ritual that melts away fat faster than everything else discovered? This drink comes from a remote area in the
Damn,
Amazon
she's got that
rainforest,
many fucking
and where women
ads
have the longest
already
life
in the video.
expectancy in the world. While
I think it's referred to as ka-ching.
Yeah.
That's coming out. Okay? Let me get to my stuff here.
Yeah, we're going to try to break it out there before these people start making money off.
Yeah. because
There
we
you
already
go,
are.
right there. See, they're trying to get ahead of this shit. They're trying to get ahead of it. So they're going to give an explanation for all the shit that's about to come out about this case.
Before people start making money on it right after her third.
No,
or
before people start uncovering it. That's what he meant to say.
Right, but it's kind of ironic. It's right after her third or fourth commercial.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Now, allegedly, Chris is the mastermind that is giving all of this information. So
He's
when
such a mastermind.
these channels, they're going to be telling you that Chris spoke to someone.
How do
okay?
they know what people are going to be telling them? How did they get this information to begin with? How do they know who Chris is talking to?
No,
Good
that's
point.
up to you.
Good point.
So, again, we'll start with the ultimatum. He said that NK gave him an ultimatum. It's
Yeah,
Shanann and the
bullshit.
killer, it's me. And that ultimatum was given a few days before he left to go join them in North Carolina.
Okay, hold
right?
up here a second.
I bet SW gave him the ultimatum.
She's talking about people in their scripts, and it looks like she's reading her script.
She is. She is. It's a bullet point given to her by good old Mama Rusak.
And supposedly he opened up all about his sister in these phone calls. And he said that his sister was very angry because she felt that Chris had not been happy for a very long time, and she wanted very much for him to be happy. And she told him that he could have a much better life if he was together with NK.
Bullshit. I don't believe that.
The night before the murders, Chris allegedly said that he remembers talking to NK. And
wait.
she was
Notice
giving
that?
him ideas.
She said that he allegedly said he remembers talking to her as if what was his
Of course,
memory.
but he doesn't remember what happened. He doesn't remember anything else that happened that day, right? But he remembers talking to NK.
Oh yeah, of course, because NK's the fall guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Their
Of how
scapegoat.
he could be rid of his family. But he can't remember any of them, really. He's had his trouble with his memory on that part. A lot of trouble there.
How convenient.
And she was not supposed to be at his workplace the last time he worked before the murders. And she had a big fit about it, okay? And they had a huge fight. The fight was about who Chris loved and wanted, whether
Pause
her or-
this. I think that
Okay.
this is more into reference. I think this is more a reference toward conversations between Chris and Shanann, but they're saying it as if it was NK. You know, like Shanann.
So they're like projecting onto NK what they really.
Right. You know what I mean? This is how they do it. There's truth to their bullshit. You know what I mean? Because they have to explain away the truth. So they take the truth, you know, they change the name, they flip it up, but technically it's the same thing. It's just about a different person. You know what I mean? In a different context.
Well, according to Cindy Watts, Chris Watts told his mother that that the last thing he remembered was Shanann saying that she was going to make him pay for this and that he was never going to see the girls again.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? NK is a coworker, but she wasn't supposed to be at work. So they had a big fight, really? Or did Christopher Watts' wife show up at his job site and start, attacking him?
Right.
Now, regarding his father, he thinks that his father still wants that 35C and is possibly working on that with a person from YouTube.
I hope he is.
He believes, allegedly, that he would be found guilty if he had a trial, but not of murder, he said, if a trial happened. And he didn't know why he lied to the police during the interview and with the FBI. He doesn't know why he lied. And he doesn't know why he lied to Catel when she talked to him.
Bullshit. Catel lied. I seen them letters. She's a lying sack of shit.
Jen was just trying to be a nice guy and give them what they wanted to hear.
I think Cato was hired by these Ruseks. I do. I think she's part of that Rusek fucking circus.
And he's been thinking about that drive, and it's been really just bombarding his thoughts, horrible thoughts. He talks about the Freemasons and says they are to blame for the reason that the truth didn't get out there, allegedly. But said that overall he's doing pretty good. Okay? Back into the chapel, and he's been praying a lot. He's really stressed and he's worried about the TV show with Chrissy. Now that is the one coming up on the 25th. Okay, with Dylan, which if you watch any of those channels, you know. He's super upset that Cato will be on it. He's angry. He's really angry with her because she even wrote to him asking him for some more information and time, and said that this time she really would write his testimony. If you remember the last time he was...
but last time she just lied and completely changed his story.
He said he just thinks she's all about money, greed. You know, she's greedy, and she's not sorry for any of her actions. So he doesn't want anything to do with her, and he doesn't want her in that TV show.
Any projection there going on, Alice Cooper?
But she is.
Right.
He can't do anything about it. He has not spoke to her, called her, but she keeps writing him, and she wrote to his cellmate. He says this is all allegedly Chris, right? He's very upset that he can't remember everything. He's having problems with his memory, and he believes that something he was given to drink was actually something called devil's breath. And
whoa.
Then
there it is. Ooh, here comes another commercial.
And then after this, keep in mind that after this, they started going on this whole weird tangent about Nicole Kessinger being a Satanist and that they were performing rituals and, you know, that this, that, and the other was going on. So they're trying to cover up shit that actually happened in this case with this fucking NK satanic bullshit. Witchcraft, you know what I mean? Voodoo, blah, 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 which is really just a cover for, you know, somebody who's medically abusing other people, a poisoner, somebody, if he was drugged.
He likes to ask how YouTube's doing. So which is pretty funny because, you know, he's all involved up in YouTube, I guess. And, whoever he's speaking to, he wants to know where they're focusing, what areas they're focusing on, and how many people are watching.
No, this is what I think Sandy and them want to know, what people are focusing on and what people are watching, not Chris. Why would Chris care about that? He can't even watch YouTube.
I highly doubt Chris has ever been a YouTube watcher.
I don't even think he knows what the fuck is even going on. You know what I mean? I think he's just telling them whatever because he's already fucking railroaded. You know what I mean?
So she said devil's breath, and she said he's having trouble remembering.
Yeah, that also was in the discovery documents and in an interview that he didn't remember what happened that night. He can't recall. And then do you remember that he said that he felt like he didn't even feel like the same, like himself that day. He felt like something else was driving him. He felt like something else took over his body. Do you remember that? And then that was another thing that they came out and said that he was demon possessed because of Nicole Kessinger. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they give away all these crazy, they're the ones with the conspiracy theories, giving all these fucking asinine excuses for all this, you know, actual actions that took place and probably scientific shit that could be easily explained away.
Okay, so let's cut right through the bullshit. Okay. He's sound asleep. And I'm applying the theory, the moving day theory. Okay. And remember the court hearing for the ongoing family matter, right? And
right. And let's keep in mind that let's say that Straight's theory is correct with this kidnapping theory. If Shanann probably wouldn't have been honest with her friends and family about what was really going on, right? She didn't want to live the lies anymore, correct? So she would have been lying to everybody around her to get her to believe that Chris was this lying, cheating piece of shit, right? So her family might help her try to kidnap those kids if she was going to lose parental rights. You know what I mean? Like if Chris had some upper hand on her because he lied about CPS or what, you know what I mean? Who knows what she told them to make them believe that he was this awful person that they would want to go and help her get the kids.
Okay, hold on though. I don't think she had any friends.
Well, I'm talking about her thrivers.
Right.
And with that, I think Nicole Atkinson was a patsy because Nicole Atkinson's phone went into the house that night. Shanann was the one who went into that house, which means that she took Nicole Atkinson's phone. So if she was going to kidnap them kids and anybody looked into it, guess whose phone records would have showed she was in the house? Nicole Atkinson's, not Shanann's.
Okay,
so think about that.
I think that her family would have known all about the ongoing family matter. And I think whatever air quotes friends would have also known if they were actually caregivers. Okay. I think that probably a lot of people knew that ongoing family matter court hearing was not going to go well.
Right. And I wouldn't put it past the Ruseks. You know what I mean? They probably wouldn't even need for Chris to be a cheating, woman abusing piece of shit to steal some kids. If they smack kids around and medically abuse them, then I don't think they have a problem kidnapping them.
Well, my theory is that she was severely mentally ill and had been for many, many years. I think she was on disability. I don't think she worked. I don't think she ever succeeded at anything, including all of those multi-level marketing, whatever that she was signing up for and stocking in her basement. Or, stocking up on her products.
That would be good to discuss because I have a timeline written up from basically the time that she moved out of her mother's house up until the Saratoga Drive house. Everything that she did, the jobs that she worked, the 20 different addresses that she moved to, and it paints a clear picture of how much she was making, what kind of little piddly ass job she was working with. It shows a clear picture that when she hooked up with Leonard King, that they had a nice little place. And then over the years, progressively, you can see that the value of the neighborhoods they were living in got shittier. The quality of the apartment complexes got shittier. You could see she was financially running him into the ground. And then you can see where it stops there. She ends up in a woman's shelter. She was using addresses at like little retail jobs that she was working at, getting her mail there. And then all of a sudden you see she gets some kind of what looks like some kind of government funding housing, like an apartment or something. And then you can almost pinpoint when she's with Hisham, because she goes from living in this little shit dump. Then all of a sudden she's got like a nice little penthouse in the city from Sugar Daddy Hisham. And then all of a sudden she's in that house, that big house that she bought. So you can see basically, like I said, I'm a little tired. So I'm stumbling around. But yeah, we should go over that later because that's really interesting as well.
Right. It is, because when you said that she wouldn't have wanted her friends and family to know, I think
she didn't want anybody to know she was a failure. She wanted everybody to believe that she was this badass, successful bitch.
I think
and she wasn't.
Remember that her mother asked her to stay in North Carolina. And remember that Cindy Watts offered for her and Ronnie to go help during their transition.
Which means both family knew that she was fucking unhinged and that it could really, really go wrong in the event of them separating and her having to leave that house.
Well, what if that ongoing family matter court hearing was to sever her ties, to sever her parental rights? What if finally... I
believe it was.
What if finally...
Because remember, she asked him, if we didn't have any children, would you still stay with me? And he basically
She was complaining that every time she tried to talk to him about their relationship, that all he would say to her was he was not going to lose Bella and Cece.
Right. Yeah. He was choosing the girls. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like, is it me or the girls? And it sounded like he chose his family over her.
Yep.
That was the time that that's when I think he put his foot down with her. That's when I think that he chose Bella and Cece and wasn't choosing her. And she knew that she lost control right there.
Well,
that's when she knew.
That's when she would lose her stage. Right then and there, she would lose her stage. So I'm not so sure that that any air quotes friends and family members would have not already known whatever. But I think in her delusion, her world would have been crumbling down around her. She couldn't keep playing out her delusion.
Well, think about it. Think about the Chris M angle, right? I believe that he was her backup plan. And I found some evidence that she met up with him while she was in North Carolina for that 6 weeks. And I believe that she brought Cece with her when she did it. And they went to go look at a house because he was in real estate. And I think
Hold up. Before she went to North Carolina, she posted a photo. I think it was in June. I think it was toward the end of June. She posted a photo of a house, and it was like 300 and some thousand, I think. And she was saying how she liked that house. It was in North Carolina. There was no way in hell she could have bought that house.
Yeah, but she was crazy. And she'd probably be the type of person that would, try to figure out a way to get what she wanted and then deal with it later. You know what I mean?
If she thought that when she went to North Carolina that she'd be hooking up with, whoever, then obviously she figured he could buy her the house,
Right. And I think it fell through. And I think that was when she pretty much just lost it. And think about it. I don't think Cece was Chris Watts' kid. She doesn't look like anybody in that family other than Shanann. And if you look at pictures of the other Chris, which Shanann talked about him constantly, flirted with him in front of Chris, went on trips with him.
Hold on a minute. Truth Seeker, delete your comment. This is the third time that I've told you this, so please stop it. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we can't say any names in here because
she knows it. She knows it. She does it repeatedly.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It just pisses me off. It's a basic little thing, and I really don't like it when people are purposely trying to do that.
Yeah. So Cece, I don't think that was Chris's kid. And is there a possibility that shit would have came out in court? Like, what if Chris got the parental rights to those kids?
Hold on 1 second. I have to do something. I just blocked somebody who felt the need to say, I'm 17 years old. Yeah, sure, you're an asshole. Run along now. Okay, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, I don't think you're alone with that thought. Let's take a vote. Feel free to vote if you feel comfortable voting, because as we've seen already, there are some scumbag attackers in the chat.
Yeah, they're probably going to be flowing in here.
Throw a 1 out there if you think that Christopher Watts was not the father of the self-proclaimed pregnancy
And think about this. If he knew these things, right, those things probably would have come out in court.
Okay.
Against her.
Throw a 1 if you think that Christopher Watts is the father of Bella, but not anybody else. How's that? Thank you, Truth Seeker. Truth Seeker deleted it. Thank you. Don't do that again, please.
And that could have been why she terminated the baby, because I do believe she did something to cause a miscarriage if she was pregnant. I do.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe somebody fed her some of that death flower thing, whatever it's called.
Or maybe she got pregnant, I believe, to stop or prevent whatever was coming down the pipe for her. She thought that was going to be a good idea, whether it was for CPS or whatever, or whether it was to fuck with Chris's head or fuck with the other Chris's head. Who knows? But she did it, and then she couldn't take it back, right? You get pregnant, you're pregnant. And I think that She didn't want the third kid herself. She even said it in the text messages that she didn't fucking want it. She talked about aborting it. She talked about I'll just remove it. I'll just remove it like it's like it's a fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Well,
so I think that her plan B ended up crashing and burning. And I mean, she would have.
That when she had that stupid video when he walked in the door, I'm not so sure that she was actually pregnant at that point. I think that she may have been saying she was pregnant maybe before she was. And then I think that
I think she was pregnant at that point. She was saying she was pregnant before she was. Do you remember that on Facebook? Set the record straight, did a video about that too. It's somewhere in that mess if it's still there, because I know one of his daddy videos got deleted. One of them out of all of those got deleted for whatever reason, but that was mentioned. Okay.
So for her to say, would you stay with me if we didn't have kids? For her to not see her OB?
Yeah, because you can't change that. You know what I mean? There is no if we didn't have kids. You know what I mean? The kids are there.
Exactly. Yeah, the leopard dress comment too. That's pretty suspicious.
And then Cindy said something about that too. Cindy said something in a conversation that I seen it was screenshots that were taken from a Facebook group. And Cindy did say that Chris chose his family over her. That Chris chose his family. He chose the kids over her.
Did he say the kids though, or did he say his family?
I think she said family.
Yeah, because I think she was expecting him to. I don't think
that necessary. I don't think she was talking about them in particular. I think she was talking about the kids. If you look at it in the context of everything that we're looking at here, and then the way that statement where she said, "Would you still be with me if we didn't have the kids?"
Right.
That leads me to believe, and like you said, all he kept saying is, "I love my kids. I love my kids." Every time she would try to say something, "I love my kids."
He said he wasn't going to lose them. Okay, why would he have lost them? He wouldn't have lost them, right?
Right, and then she was telling her friends all he cares about is the kids. All he says is he just loves the kids.
What if when she was in North Carolina, there were social workers involved who said, enough already? You know, I mean, maybe Colorado wasn't concerned with what they were seeing.
Well, think about it. If Frankie wasn't supposed to be around kids, we know damn well that he was, because there's pictures all over social media showing them at the house with him. So it seems to me that that Shanann really didn't care at that point who was around the kids, even if she had an open CPS case. Think about that. If she had an open CPS case and kept him away from her kids, why at that point would she let him see them? Unless she wasn't planning to off them.
The whole thing of not going to the doctor and everything, it's like nobody does that. That's bullshit. Nobody does that. You just don't. If you remember how she said tomorrow morning's really going to suck. I don't know any pregnant woman who would have ever said that about going to the doctor.
Exactly right. Unless you didn't want the baby.
Or unless you didn't want the baby to become the subject of the CPS case, maybe.
Right. Or unless it was moving day and your life was about to change significantly.
I think it was moving day. I think that she was probably not supposed to be back at that house. And I think she came charging in the door.
If you watch that footage that Nate's got, we don't ever see Shanann walking in the house. But the car pulls up on the street, stops for a second with probably just enough time for somebody to jump out, right? And then the car takes off. But we don't see anybody walking up to the house. So the person could have just as easily stayed out of the view of the camera to go walk around the house and get in through the basement. And then the fact that, like I said, Nicole Atkinson's phone was taken into the house because her 360 app shows that pinpoints her GPS location at mom's work at that time. So that tells me that Shanann took Nicole Atkinson's phone, and if she was going to kidnap the kids and the cops looked into it, like I said, they would have been looking at Nicole Atkinson, because they would have had You know, do you get what I mean? If it would have ever been found out, if they would have ever looked into it and looked at her friend's phone records, they would have seen Nicole Atkinson's phone going into the house.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to give you the same tone of voice that I gave whoever she was, Truth Seeker. N.A.
I'm sorry, N.A. I'm tired. Yes, N.A. N.A.
When you just said that about how it was in the phone, mom's work, there you go right there. The same woman who got married and Christopher Watt's wife never mentioned it and didn't attend the wedding. Weren't they besties?
Yeah,
You know?
that's another thing. You're not going to be there for your best friend's wedding. And this is another reason why I believe that that Nicole, N.A. would have gone along with this cover up, because she had just got married. She was planning on having a baby. She was starting a new life. So I'm sure she didn't want to have to deal with all that bullshit and possibly end up going to jail for some fucked up ass shit that she got dragged into.
Micro
So she would have went along with whatever was going on.
Micro says, did Shanann's phone show that it connected to the Wi-Fi at her house that morning?
Yes. At 8 o'clock in the morning, somebody turned on the phone and it connected to the Wi-Fi at 8 a.m. And that's when I believe that whoever had her phone came to the house. And I believe that same person that had the phone cleaned up the fucking crime scene. Because that person was trained in cleaning up hazmat and like like elderly people and death scene, like death situations, cleaning up after elderly people dying in the home and stuff like that. She was trained in that.
Right, not hazmat, but I know what you're saying. Sterilizing.
Well, hazmat cleanup, yeah. It's hazmat. She would have been trained in that to know how to properly get rid of blood or vomit or feces or bile.
Right. HC says, and she didn't even know her best friend's age either. I think she knew her age, but I think she didn't know if she should lie about her age.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Shanann
was older. That was another thing, because Shanann claims she moved out of her mother's house when she was 17 years old. Okay. The first time she moved out of her mother's house was in 2002. So if she was 17 in 2002, then that would have made her 38 when she died.
That's what Cindy Watts said, was that Shanann told her that she moved out when she was 17 after she and her mother had a huge fight. And she left, and she said she would never live under that.
I think she was born in either 1980 or 1981. And I think that her mother probably, the kids were probably behind, and that the mother didn't enroll her into school till late. And they probably lied about her age so that she wouldn't be embarrassed in school, because she was probably 3 or 4 years ahead of whatever grade they were putting her in. And that would have been, you know what I mean?
I have a different theory. I think that when she was a young teenage girl that she started showing signs of severe mental illness. And I think she missed a lot of school during the high school, junior high, and high school. And I think she probably got held back a few times.
That could be it too, yeah. Because she didn't graduate, so we can't pinpoint what year she would have graduated.
With all the photos we've seen, we haven't seen any graduation photo. We haven't seen but one photo from that first wedding. Who didn't go to the first wedding?
Yeah, and you know damn well if Sandy had photos to prove anything, she'd be blasting them everywhere. They'd be up on the Shining Light channel over there with extremely detailed descriptions. You know, how does a content creator have such extremely detailed descriptions of these people's lives if they're just, if it's just a memorial channel?
How does she have a home movie, Although I noticed in that home movie one, that shirt is the same exact shirt that Martian lady is wearing. The Martian's wife.
Yes. Oh, and that's a whole nother thing we have to go over, Mensa. Oh, I have so much on that interview, and I have so much on the Thayers.
Oh, don't do that.
What? Well, we can't. I don't want to do that now, because that would probably be a whole live stream.
No, I mean names.
Oh, well, no, you could say their names, because that's fine.
Well, it's just good not to, though. Exactly, three of a kind. She didn't even mention NA's wedding on Facebook to congratulate her. So how is that your best friend? Why is she at her house? Why does she have her passcodes? Why does she know how? Why is she getting her mail, right? If they're such close friends, why didn't she even say, hey, congratulations, sorry I'm not there?
Because they weren't close friends. That's why.
I don't think so either. And the big question, too, why did NA worry that she was going to be arrested?
Yeah, exactly. I think she was used. I think they used her.
Biohazard, that's the term. Thank you, dear, whoever you were. I'm sorry, I'm flipping through these
You guys
comments.
know what I mean.
Yeah, because when you said hazmat, I'm like, no, it's not hazmat, but I couldn't think of the word. Biohazard. Yes, she worked in geriatrics.
Yeah, and prior to Shanann working at Dirty South, she was working she worked at little retail jobs. She was waitressing, and then she was claiming to do some kind of nursing stuff, but we all know that was bullshit. So there's no way she was making money working shitty retail jobs and waitressing tables. And then, that was another thing, Mensa, that I wanted to, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, about the Kim Kardashian closet designer.
Right.
And then around that same time, Shanann was also, styling and cleaning and organizing closets for a living.
Yeah, which
kind of like with your Lady Gaga theory about the lupus.
Exactly. And also the Kate Spade theory too.
Right. So she was basically scamming with the lupus bullshit.
Cali girl, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Cali girl said, I think SW was the correct age because her high school friend Lauren went to junior high with her. Lauren didn't even know her from school, Cali girl. She didn't even know her from school.
Yeah, that wasn't a relationship from school. Shanann worked at her parents' restaurant.
No, not true. No, that's a whole different person.
I think Sandy is the one who is friends with that family. And that's how Shanann knows the daughter.
No, that's a whole different family. Lauren did go to the same school that Christopher Watt's wife went to. They did go to the same school, but Lauren herself said that she didn't know her from school. But that
doesn't mean that Shanann wasn't older. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that Shanann wasn't older. How does that indicate that?
There's a picture of Lauren and Shanann, and you can tell Lauren looks younger than Shanann in the picture. She looks at least 3 or 4 years younger, at least. But, the whole idea that she had a high school friend, Lauren, no, she didn't. Lauren said herself that they were not friends and they didn't know each other. They simply attended the same high school.
Who is the one with the restaurant that she worked at the restaurant with?
That's a whole different one. The daughter of the restaurant owner was like 10 or 12 years older than Shanann. Shanann was a teenager when she worked there.
Because she went to that restaurant while she was in North Carolina. And I could have swore that person gave a statement because Shanann was telling her how awful Chris was.
Right. But that's the one, remember the next day, I think it was, where she said she posted on social media that she thinks she got food poisoning from the restaurant.
Yeah, but she was feeding that woman information. She was sending text messages to that woman and making that woman believe that she was going through all this horrible shit with Chris. Remember? She was saying everything was fine up until the 6 weeks and then everything changed. We were having sex in the pantry and then everything changed. I don't know what happened. She was telling her friends each something different. It was almost like she did it intentionally so that in case somebody ever asked them something, they would already have the story that she fed them.
And also keep in mind that Christopher Watts said to his mother that he has no idea how she got pregnant because the two of them were not intimate.
Yes, and he also said that when they were intimate, that they wore condoms. And then Nicole Kessinger, her ass looked at the condoms that were in the house and checked the dates, and they were expired, which indicated to her that they hadn't been used in a very long time. So she actually believed him because when she was in the house, she was snooping and seeing the condoms in the closet or some shit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And from what Cindy said, during that time frame where she would have gotten pregnant, he said that they didn't have sex.
Right.
Happy Andrew
And
says,
Nicole Kessinger believed him. So whatever he was telling her, and I don't remember it right offhand, but there was like a bunch of bullet points that pertain to that she gave the police about that whole thing, about how he basically, he was able to convince her that it wasn't his kid because he was able to show her proof. And she believed that up until he got arrested, of course.
Happy Andrew says, didn't that friend of hers say they graduated together? No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that at all.
Shanann didn't graduate high school. If anybody said that, that's a lie, because she did not graduate.
She said they didn't know each other in school, but they went to the same school. And just look at the photo of the two of them together. They don't look the same age at all. HC says, why no airport footage? In every other missing person case or whatever, they show airport footage, even if 5 seconds. That is so true, HC.
Yeah, but you know what? I think because of the fact that Sandy led the investigators from the jump, that they weren't looking at the airport as a pinnacle issue with the case. They, like I noticed, Set the Record Straight made a good point on his video the other day, that they basically were hammering it away from the time she got home. You know what I mean? So they were kind of kept away from the airport. They weren't really they weren't given any reason to go to that airport. You know what I mean? The problem wasn't at the airport. The problem happened when she got home. And then because she had supposedly got in the house and taken off her clothes and slipped into bed, you know what I mean? They didn't look at the airport as being anything that would have been an issue. They were looking at it from the time she got home to the house. That's what they had investigated.
It seems to me with that BAC level that they should have been looking for some airport footage.
Right. But again, like I said, in a lot of these cases, the family or the cops will cover things up that might be embarrassing for the family. And if they're putting it out that Shanann was pregnant and she was drinking, you know what I mean? They don't want to make the murder victim look bad.
Sandy points out again, too, how she had Christopher Watts lie to Ronnie and Cindy saying she was 40. That is just psycho.
Yeah, which makes me think that she had it in her mind. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. People like that who lie, they tell you their lies. You know what I mean? Almost like it's almost like they can't help but do it. It's like they expose themselves to almost get out ahead of it in case it ever does come out. You know what I mean?
Right. Wench Ain't I So Funny says, very strange. It's a strange thing to think up about the age thing. So there had to be a reason for it. I think the reason for it about lying about being so much younger was because I think that she actually did have more babies than what we've been told. And I think, the whole idea that she had high risk pregnancies I think that whole idea was directly related to her having an age thing going on.
That's why this case is so messed up, man. I mean, Shanann lied. She lied to everybody in her life. And then her parents perpetuated those lies. And her, quote, friends and MLMers also perpetuated those lies. Who knows what they believed to be true? You know what I mean? But that's what I was saying about earlier when I had said that you could explain it better, how, like, it's hard to explain what happened in this case because there's so many things that you have to point out in order to get to that final result. It's just not a 1, 2, 3 thing.
I think the starting point includes that there have been so many of us being attacked by scumbag attackers. That is huge in this case. I have never seen that with any other case. And then also that we're told by a family member that we'll never know the truth. I mean, he may as well have said, yeah, we're lying to you. Because if you're going to tell us that we'll never know the truth and they don't tell people like us, what? Why on earth is anybody lying about a true crime case? Does anybody care about what happened to Bella and Cece? Or is it all about just, framing Christopher Watts and throwing away the key, right? Yes, Micro. Lauren looks much younger. And she said they did not know each other in high school. And think about it. Even if your kid isn't like actively involved with all sorts of extracurricular activities. Did she ever play any musical instrument? Did she ever play any sport? Did she go to any dance besides the one that it looks like they took the whole family and she, I think, had her brother as her date? What? What's that about? There were no photos anywhere of her taking part in anything at school at all. And what's with the teacher? What is with that teacher? A father figure? What?
Hey, Mensa, check your private
Okay.
chat.
Okay. Okay, we'll do. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Yeah, not in the private chat.
I'm the genius, you know.
She's techno savvy, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh. I was fast though when you said check it. I was right there. I knew where it was. Oh goodness. Okay. Exactly, Truth Seeker. I don't think Lauren knew her at all. I don't. Tennyson says, I really don't think everything is a lie. Just her money and her pregnancy and her death. Yeah, just everything. Just everything about this case. And whether or not she was successful and whether or not the bankruptcy was all because of medical bills. Everything we've been told.
Lies. Dirty lies.
Nursing school, really? Who lies about that? A retired nurse? Are you kidding?
Yeah, how do you retire from being a nurse? She said it was 4 years that she worked there. Really? So maybe I'm going to go to nursing school if I could fucking retire in 4 years.
Well, yeah, retire after 4 years when you didn't even go to nursing school. Sandy says, and the constant dark hair dyeing, maybe it was to cover gray hair. Could be. Look at all the wrinkles she had. Could be.
No, Shanann was a redhead, okay? And she dyed her hair black to perpetuate that whole Italian princess stereotype. That's why she dyed her fucking hair.
Callie says she just watched the interview with Lauren and she said they were friends since junior high. Well, at one point in time, she said they didn't know each other in high school. So I don't know when that interview was posted, but my hunch probably after Set the Record Straight did a video about it. I think she was definitely older. Yes, the autopsy was BS. It said she didn't have any scars, which tells me that maybe those scars were not what people were told they were from. You're right, Honey Badger, Y-O-U-R. There we go. Yeah, she didn't want to get messy. You guys are keeping me on my toes with all the, not you guys, the scumbag attackers. I have to multitask here to try to block these yahoos. Tennyson says, I don't believe she was pregnant. You're not alone in that belief, Tennyson.
Just have Callie girl be a mod. She's on her shit, boy.
Yeah, she's ooh. You guys, guess what? Honey Badger, look in your, hold on a second here. I want you to there. I want you to that. Did it send?
Oh, okay. Okay, well, apparently we have Set the Record Straight in the back room, backstage waiting. Drum roll, please.
Yeah, do like an Ed McMahon thing. Do you know who I mean?
Let him in.
Okay.
Let him in. These people are waiting.
Hey,
big shit.
Hey, what's going on, ladies?
Oh my God, there's that. Just keep talking straight.
I was just saying, I just wanted to stop in and say Happy New Year's. I got some stuff
Aw.
going on, so I'm not going to be able to stay, but I'll be watching and listening.
Well, it's a good thing you came on because it's been some talk around here that apparently you're me and you're Mensa and I'm Mensa and you're me and blah, blah, blah.
I really appreciate you hopping up here straight. I really do. And I know that as soon as you leave, I hope you don't feel like sexually harassed by this or anything by all of us, but we love your voice.
All right, right
Sexy
on.
Italian race car drivers. Woo!
Yeah, I know it's been a thing. I've supposedly I'm about 12 different people on
I
this
know.
platform, so
That's all they can use against you because they don't know who you are. That's the thing.
I know
But-
it. They're disgusting.
Yeah, you need to come up on panel one day. We have so much to go over with you. I mean, I have so many notes, and I know you don't exchange personal information, so you got to come up on panel one day, bro.
Well, I'm always around. I'm always listening.
Yeah, we
Well,
know.
and we're glad you are. Seriously, your video today really shocked me. I got to tell you, it shocked
Yeah.
me. I'm watching, just going, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah, we're gonna sit over here and pick it apart, if you don't
Do you
mind.
mind? Yeah. Is it okay if we like go through it? I mean, obviously, it's like we're not going to do anything, say anything bad, but
No, feel free.
Sweet.
I can't believe you're here. This is like,
I know. I hope the Shiners are in here. You see that, fuckers? We're not the same person, Dave. Fucking asshole.
Oh man. Well, Happy New Year. I'm so glad that you hopped up here. I'm just
Yes,
kind of like,
Happy New Year. Thank you for all your hard work, Straight. I
I'm
don't
a
think you
little
hear
bit
that
stressed.
enough, man.
you know, tomorrow I'm going to go, oh man, I should have said this. I should have said that.
I know, right? I'm like, oh shit, he's coming.
This is like seeing Elvis, Paula. Do you see this?
All right, ladies. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, but I'm still gonna be watching. I'm still gonna be listening. I just got some stuff going on. You know, it's New Year's.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you for hopping
Straight.
on.
Have a great stream.
And you've got a little fan club here, so I don't know. We'll try to keep it clean. That was an old lady joke.
All right, Straight. Have a Happy New Year.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Have a great stream. Happy New Year's, ladies.
Take care.
I can't believe he hopped up on the panel.
Well, I'm glad he did because I'm so tired of hearing these people with their fucking, oh, Honey Badger set the record straight. Oh, Straight's Miss Mensa.
I don't think he's ever hopped up here.
I don't recall him either hopping up here either. The only time I've heard his voice is every once in a while when he gets up in a video and he's like, I'm not Mensa.
Yeah,
he doesn't really say anything. And I get why, you know what I mean? It's a complete safety issue.
Hey, Star
Hey,
Mama.
everybody.
Can you
just
believe
made
Oh,
my-
Star Mama,
he
you
made
missed set the
my whole
record straight.
year. Yes, he made my whole year. Let me tell you, I've been waiting
Isn't-
for. Yes, I love
I
that
know.
dude, man.
I
Yeah.
feel so stupid though because I'm kind of like I don't know what to say.
I know. I was like, what do I say? I'm like, oh shit, he's here. I've never talked to him personally. I've messaged him on his video, you know, and we'll like talk in the comment section every once in a while, but I've never got to talk to him on panel.
Well, I have a question for Mrs. Badskirt. She said now she's apparently a dirty old woman. What's that about?
Who's a dirty old woman?
She said that in the chat, Mrs. Badskirt. What's that about? Is somebody calling you that or what? She made that comment in the chat.
I'm a dirty old woman?
No, she said she is. Mrs. Badskirt said, apparently I'm a dirty old woman, and I don't know what she was referring to. If somebody's calling her that or what.
I'm searching for it. Apparently, I have become a dirty old woman. Hey, Miss Badskirt, you want to hop up here and tell us?
What's the name?
Her name's Mrs. Badskirt.
I just dropped.
Bad skirt.
Yeah, bad skirt.
His voice is fucking hot. I'm sorry. He sounds
Yeah,
sexy
he's
as
got
hell.
he's got a sexy voice, doesn't he?
He
Now he's gonna think
does.
he's got a bunch of old women after him.
He's probably the hottest guy in the true crime community. We can't even see his damn face.
And
Yeah.
and Miss Mensa, who likes to open her mouth and insert her foot, is like, I hope you don't feel sexually harassed. We're all in love with you. I'll tell you something, and I don't want to sound really stupid, but I'm telling you, those chocolate covered strawberries and chocolate covered bananas and chocolate covered apples and flowers.
I remember that when you got attacked, he sent those to you. See, that's a gentleman right there.
Yeah.
That is a gentleman right there. And then didn't they accuse somebody else of sending you that or something? Was it Roger? Oh yeah, because they were calling Set the Record Straight Roger. And they were saying that you and Roger had something going on.
Well, my husband used to do that all the time. He always sent me flowers and chocolate covered candies and stuff, and the fruit. I miss that so much. I haven't had any for 7 years, so it's kind of like, man.
Oh, we have to get together and get P Money some goodies.
Yeah, you miss it though when you have that for almost 30 years, and then all at once, it's gone. It's different.
I dated a lawyer for 5 years who it was once a month he would send all the women in his office flowers. It was like a contract he had with a flower shop. And when we started dating, he included my name on his list. And I didn't know that he did this with all the women in the office, And like after the second time, he explained, that all the women he basically whatever, right? And I was so pissed. I was like, don't add my name to a friggin' list that you do for your employees. It just, he kept my name on the list, and I kept getting flowers all the time, but it was like, yeah, those are pretty. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, thank you for the lovely flowers, asshole.
Yeah. Some of them lawyers are like doctors, and some of the doctors you hear about, they leave a triple and quadruple wife, out here. They got a wife and they got 2 or 3 mistresses on the side, man. I've heard some stories here lately that I was shocked about. Yeah. Never know.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
Rita's down there asking about the autopsy proving that there was an expelled fetus confirming her pregnancy. It doesn't mean it was a viable pregnancy.
I'm focusing on this comment first. Ms. Badsker said, I was thinking how sexy his voice was. And I'm probably older than his mama. Ms. Badsker, I have no doubt but what I'm older than his mama, and he has a sexy voice.
Oh, I know I am. I've already told him. He knows I'm 70 years old, and I told him, I love the dude, man. I'm telling you. He puts the stuff out there. He puts it out there and tells it as it is. And he has the stuff that makes sense. Just like with your book. I'm telling you, you read the book and you listen to him, you got the picture. Yep.
Yeah. Both of you guys combined, both of your efforts combined really do paint the picture of what happened. That's why they're constantly trying to shut you both down.
Yeah.
I mean, both of you've had channels removed. You know what I mean? Like, why else would they be trying to take down your guys' channels? You know what I mean? If Chris is guilty, why are they taking down people's channels?
Happy Angie says that's a whole man. He's a real man.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
M says, yeah, dude's a genius. Or yeah, the dude's a genius. I think that's what she means. We're all flattered he popped in. I know. I wish I would have said something relatively intelligent.
He just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I didn't even see him in chat. He just popped up out of nowhere.
Hey, Minty, you know how we talked about how sexy Coonrod the cop was, it was out there that day? Yeah. Well, can you imagine what that the record looks like with that voice? Yeah.
Well, just seeing his back. And then I think probably because I was already in love with him before I ever heard his voice, I think because he swooped in and said, this is bullshit, I think basically is what he said about what was going on. And I think too, he knows a whole lot more than what.
Oh, I think so too. Because when he was checking all back the house and getting down in the window wells and stuff, you could hear him saying shit. Man, he just he didn't even nothing was making sense. It's like he got drug into something that I kind of think he thought was ridiculous. That he got
Are you talking about that cop?
Yeah.
I was
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they like he almost was like uncomfortable being there. Like he read the room and he knew that something weird was going on. Because if you like when they were standing upstairs with NA and the son, you can tell that he was visibly uncomfortable. And then he had talked to somebody on the radio and was like, "Yeah, you need to get somebody over here." You know, like I don't even know what the hell's going on over here.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't believe those. I don't believe those officers knew. I think that they were collecting the evidence and then gave it to somebody else who did what they wanted to do with the evidence once they realized that things were already covered up and that it would have helped them out in the long run.
The thing that made me really suspicious was when her son walked down the driveway and said, "You remember me?" First thing to him. That's the first thing. "You remember me?" And he said, "Yeah, dude, I remember you, you know." So
that's probably not the first time they were.
Yeah,
they were. That was probably not the first time they were at the house for Shanann. And if NA was her caregiver, right? And NA said that she would bring her son over there to calm down Shanann. That her and her son had a special bond, and that he would go over there and calm her down when she would get irate or in in one of her moods. So it's quite possible that they had been to that house when Shanann had one of her episodes and that the son had been there to probably, hold her down or like NA said, calm her down.
Yeah, he sure knew the color of those sheets and the print on them, I'll tell you that. Yep.
And another thing is that why didn't anybody flinch when Sandy said check the knives? You know what I mean? You would think if they weren't familiar with that situation and somebody said that would be like a light bulb moment for them, and they would have responded differently. But they kind of like glossed over it almost as if like this was something that they had been through before, and like it wasn't something new. Because if somebody would have said that to me, I would have said something right away. What do you mean check the knives?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And how did they all go in there so relaxed in that house, like nothing? They didn't go in there frantically, calling out names, looking for the kids. And they're letting a little toddler run around, and they're not even knowing what she might come upon. What if she'd come upon something horrible?
Right. If NA thought that Chris was so bad, remember, because she was saying, that she thought something was going on, he might have strangled her or some shit like that. If she felt that way, why would you even have your kid in the house with somebody who could have possibly murdered your quote best friend?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think CW even told NA that she needed to change her daughters.
Yes. Yeah, Chris was more tentative to her kid than she was.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a Happy Angie comment. There's something about a smart man that doesn't take any BS. Sexy.
Yeah.
Little Mama gave that a thumbs up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeanette says, I'm in love with his voice. So sexy.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad he come on, though, because it shut people up about, it's Menza and it's Honey Badger and it's this one and that one. I'm so sick. He did in one video, somebody called him out. It's been over a year or so ago, and he just talked briefly on there. I can't remember which one it was, but you could tell it's then that it wasn't who he was getting. I think he was getting accused of being some dude named Roger or something.
Yeah, Roger Halstead.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, there was a time frame where I wondered. I thought it. I mean, I thought it.
Really?
That's how crazy this whole
thing. Yeah, you were almost questioning me, thinking I was set the record straight because I'm a Clover and Melissa Jade.
I thought you were, because
the
attacks were so weird. Remember when they crashed my computer and everything? And
I remember that night. Yeah.
And the thing is that, okay, I know I have a lot of information that he has because I'm looking at the same case. You know what I mean? Any of us that are looking at the case we're going to be saying the same narrative because we're just repeating the truth of what we're finding.
And I listened to like different things, different sentences, different phrases and stuff. And the thing is, I was getting attacked so much. I mean, it was like,
you don't know what's what in this community. You don't.
Even besides the attacks, I think the worst part were the scumbags who were trying to act like they were friendly. Those were the worst. Like we were saying about Alice Cooper's channel, it's the ones who are trying to act so oh, you know,
Prim
like
and
that.
proper.
Right. And then you just, you know, it's
Well,
weird. It's just weird.
Any creator that family goes into, they're going to turn around and they're going to have their subs, and that creator's going to start coming after you like stink on shit. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's just the way they do people. They come out. I got threatened after I left one creator thing. I got told to keep my mouth shut or I was going to be sorry.
When
You know?
it isn't even like the obvious scumbags who are right out front and center threatening. It's the ones who, you know, pretend like they're my long lost best buddy or something that I feel like, okay, they're acting too nice, you know?
Well, that's just strategy. They're just using strategy to get to you. You know what I mean? So that they can misdirect you and misguide you and keep people like me out of your chat.
Exactly. Well,
already they don't even like me being on here. I've got told off by plenty of people. But
I've seen comments. They're irate you're over here.
Oh, I know, but you know what? I don't care. This is where I need to be, and I don't need to be associated with them, and I've let them all know that. And I don't care.
You did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did what a real advocate would do. You know what I mean? You were there for the right reasons, and then you were honest about, you know, not going after people without having any proof to back any of it. You know what I mean? You did exactly
when they come after
absolutely
me,
the right thing.
Yeah, and I wanted it out there. I got tired of being accused of doing stuff I wasn't doing. And man, when I started getting threatening emails, that was it. I said, no, this is going to stop because I'm not putting up with this anymore. It's just too much. But you learn, you know, people just don't learn. They just got to come after you real life.
Truth Seeker just said, Mensa, try to read Straight's comments. I don't see any comments from Straight. I don't see any Truth Seeker.
Yeah, he in here.
M says Paula is a fighter.
Unless they clone, or maybe they cloned his account again. Remember when they did that? They cloned his account and they were running around causing problems with his account.
Well, the night that you were in here and Mensa's everything crashed, he got 8 strikes against him. I do know that. He said they come after him 8 times. That's why he took his channel down, because they were just striking him left and right. It's like they were just going nuts.
And they were trying to make it look like it was me striking him. And
yeah, I know.
Yeah, because they were filing reports under other people's names.
Exactly.
So that they were doing it on behalf of other people in the community.
Yep.
Yeah, they like to do a lot of weird things to a lot of people.
That reminded me of something that I wanted to say. Number 1, Betty White died today, the Golden Girl.
Yeah, she looked almost 100. She'd been 100 on the 17th of this month.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, amazing.
And then, which also another death, this one in the true crime community is Norman. Norman passed away. He was a scumbag attacker for a long time. And then he changed his ways and he apologized and he took down all of his crappy content.
Yeah, and even that's a good example. He didn't realize what he was doing until he realized that he was actually going after a legit person with a legit job, and that there was more to the story than what he was being told. And kudos to him for trying to make right of it. You know what I mean? Even though he was, you know, attacking you from the get-go, at least he attempted to make it right.
And he got attacked really bad. His health was harmed because of the scumbag attackers. So
they can do that to you, let me tell you. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's psychological abuse.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're probably applauding. I mean, they're just that scummy. But boy, they're making their tribute videos as if they were ever friends, right?
Oh, yeah. Half of them that was attacked him and went after him, I seen that they were over there like boo-hooing and carrying on. I thought, man, y'all are so two-faced. It's disgusting.
Well, I think it's like evil. I really think it's evil.
That's evil.
Well, they got to pretend because, you know, they were attacking him. So they're gonna point that out and act like they like the guy, you know, in case it ever comes out. That's what they do.
Well,
they come ahead of it. They're always ahead of it. They always want to get ahead of it. So that in case something comes out, they could be like, oh, but that's not true because we did a dedication video for him the day that he died. We even had a fundraiser for his wife.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, crazy.
So disgusting. They're just so scummy.
Yeah, that's about like the ours again. They lost somebody on Christmas Eve, a nephew. Now they had a GoFundMe started for that.
I don't even know if I believe that. The way Sandy is, Sandy,
Oh, I
when
don't
she
believe
gets
it, but they'll do anything to make money.
when she gets caught up in something, she
Mhm.
goes all out there with lies to cover it up. And the lies that she usually uses, she doesn't really think through really good. Like, she'll say these death in the families and all these things, and then, she doesn't really worry about it until she gets caught up in it later. So if she doesn't have receipts that somebody died, I don't believe it.
Well,
I even looked
I
at
don't either.
GoFundMe and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, well, we all have had a lot of deaths in our families
Has
and
anybody
stuff,
seen the
but I've never asked
GoFundMe
for a
account?
dime. I haven't bothered to look, because I really don't care what they do. I mean,
I know
they
I've
have
seen on
done
Set the
some,
Record Straight's
yeah.
channel, they were talking about it, and he was
Mhm.
asking for the links to it, and I've been checking, and I didn't see anybody post a link because I wanted to find it and document it because I have like a whole collection of their GoFundMe accounts over
Oh,
the
I
years.
know. Isn't it disgusting?
Yeah, for everything, for every little thing, any family member, people close to them, their names are all over it. It's like the whole family. Her sister too does a lot of. One of her sisters does a lot of GoFundMes on behalf of all these other people for all kinds of bullshit excuses. Cancer, somebody's getting kicked out of their house. Somebody needs to start a new life. Somebody needs to get their nails done. They're constantly collecting money for shit.
Get their nails done. Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
I know. It is just ridiculous, but they just, yeah. Well,
Oh,
even,
my sister needs to get her nails done for our
Mhm.
mom's wedding. She can't go unless she looks presentable. We need to raise
Mhm.
I'm doing
$1,000.
I'm doing a search and I do not see any fundraiser.
Yeah, I looked. I don't see it. I don't believe it. I think she's catching heat right now and shit's coming out. And I don't think that she has the support that she has led people to believe she has. And I think
Mhm.
that she's going to go into hiding for a little while because she knows that fucking her mask slipped and everybody sees her.
I do think a lot of people are waking up, but rather they
Mhm.
would come out. I don't think they'll come out. Many
There
of
was
them will
only
come
a
out
matter of
and take a
time.
stand. They won't come out for a while and take a stand though, because
No.
people are scared of them, and I don't know why they're scared of them. I don't get it.
Because they're
I don't get it.
noisy. That's why. They're noisy and they
Mhm.
make threats and they say things that the average person wouldn't say. But those are usually the weakest people. The ones who hide behind everybody and puppet master everybody, those are usually the weak ones that
Mhm.
wouldn't do anything. All they do is run their fucking mouth. She's like Molly Golightly, run their fucking mouth out there. And Molly Golightly's making threats. Oh, meet me in the street. Remember Mensa? She says, meet me in the park. You know what? If somebody did meet that bitch in the park, Molly Golightly probably get her ass beat. She's just a fucking mouthy psycho. That's it. She's got a
Mhm.
mouth on her. That's her worst. That's her only defense is that fucking yapper. Her trout pout injected with 16 pounds of silicone.
I didn't think she was the one they called Trout Pout. I thought that was her friend. No, the friend's the horse.
Well,
the friend is
they're all
right?
trout mouths to me with them big nasty lips. It
Yeah.
looks awful.
Little
Mhm.
mama
They call her Molly Go Surgery. There's a guy who trolls her. He calls her Molly Go Surgery. He just rips at her so bad. It's hilarious.
Little mama says yes, she was afraid of the lady that called her camel toe.
Yeah. Yeah, she was backing off and hiding behind the cops when the church ladies were telling her how disgraceful she was for being out there and putting her camel toe all over national television.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Justice went into MR's chat today. Listen, just give me a minute.
Oh God.
Yeah, I wonder
What is up with that? The listen.
Yeah, I wonder who he works for, huh?
He's like one of the bottom of the barrel trolls. He's like the discount troll group.
Oh, Tennyson says, anyone notice how SR and NA look alike? Interesting.
SR and NA?
Yeah.
You never know. She was raised by her grandmother, wasn't she? NA?
I don't know.
Well, who knows? All I know is their connection is that Sandy worked for her when she was in Colorado at her salon.
Right.
And
She
then
rented
that's how they met
chair or
that
something
Tinder
from her.
broad.
Yeah.
Remember the Tinder bitch? The
Yeah.
Tinder bitch swept hair there.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
if
I do know that NA has a child though that does not live with her. She has a daughter that doesn't live with her. I do know that. She does. She has a child that's between her son and the little boy that she's got, and the little girl she's got that lives there now. This is a one that's younger than her son, the oldest one. But she lives with her dad.
Right.
And she
Yeah.
put it. Yeah, I do remember that. I
do
was
remember
kinda
that
shocked
too.
about that. I was really shocked.
And the daughter
about that.
hadn't had anything to do with her for years
Nope.
too.
Won't have anything to do with her, huh?
Donnie says, I found that fund. If you go into Alice's chat, it's listed there. But I just did a search on GoFundMe and I didn't see it. I'd be very curious to see it, Donnie.
Oh,
Would
they're
you be?
probably hiding
Yeah,
it
post the
now. If
link.
they know somebody's onto it, they're probably hiding
And
it.
I bet you any money Sandy's name probably isn't on it. It's probably, if it's real, it's probably not her. It's probably not her name on there. Or it could be. She could be ballsy. But from what I understand, they got kicked off of GoFundMe.
Robin says, Honey Badger, you are too funny. Love you, girl.
Thanks, Robin.
You're something else, girl.
Kelly
Hey,
Girl says,
got to keep it interesting while you're on these these YouTube streets.
You remind me of what I was about 40 years ago, really.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to use the word spunk for this. That was the word they would use. And those of us like Paula and me, we knew spunk was a good thing, but it wasn't always a compliment either, was it, Paula?
No, but I was told that a lot of times I was a survivor with a lot of spunk when I was dealing with a sick child and then lost one of my kids. And I kind of sit back now and kind of realize, because I did go, you go to battle sometimes and you fight things you believe in, and it takes a lot of spunk to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta, man. You gotta
stand your ground with people. Otherwise, they just walk all over you.
Exactly. Especially in this community. You know what I mean?
You can't be nice to some of these people. I mean, it's just like a lost cause. You just can't. I mean, you can't.
You guys, I do agree. I think there is a resemblance. Tennyson said, I saw in the wedding video, SR looked like she's NA's mom. They're probably sisters, her and SW.
Oh, I know.
That would be fucking wild. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
This case is full of twists and turns that I've never seen in any case that I have ever followed or listened to. I mean, this is wild. It's crazy.
You're never going to know the truth, Paula, because they don't tell people like you.
Yeah.
I know.
Frank said so.
Oh, I know. I know.
So I guess that leaves it all.
I guess we're not intelligent enough to.
It's amazing how much they expose about themselves. I can't. They expose so much about themselves, and then they wonder why people ask questions. You know what I mean? It's like, you put this shit out here.
If we see, these puzzle pieces laying around, I guess, we're humans. We're led to put the puzzle pieces together, right?
Exactly.
Well, when you got a brother that's telling people you make $500,000 a year, and yet you've been in bankruptcy, you're a year behind on house payments, you don't even own a vehicle of your own. That tells me right there somebody's not being truthful.
Yeah, you got debtors calling on the day of your death.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Your hair products were declined on your card. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Feed that to somebody else, because I don't buy that stuff. I don't buy anything.
And what about the whole bankruptcy thing after just 2.5 years of marriage?
Yeah, that's crazy too.
It's just weird to think.
Well, even the fact that they had to take money out of his 401k. You know what I mean? If you're balling, what do you need to take money out of his 401k for?
Yep.
And what happened to that money out of that 401k?
She bought eyelash extensions and took a couple trips that year, and probably brought her friends along with her. Plus, she was funneling money to her other Chris to build him up and thrive. Yeah. She was spending Chris's money on him.
Are you sure, though? Because I think that guy has money.
No, she was spending money on him. She helped him get where he was in Thrive. She helped him. You could, if you, there's videos, live streams where she's talking about it. She's not saying she's spending Chris's money. Of course, she's acting like she's spending her money, but she was helping him get bumped up so that he could get the car. I think that was the next thing, the next level that they were coming up in. And then remember they had that dinner where it was for him and they all congratulated him for getting to that point. Do you remember that? And she's standing there all fucking happy, recording it like she was just a pig in shit. Because she had, got him to that. I don't remember what it was, like a dollar amount, like a $200,000 K club or something. I don't remember how they would worded it, but there is a live stream of a dinner that they had, and he's getting congratulated for getting to that point, and she helped him get there.
Did you see the one where they were pushing the pier for the Thrive, and it was her and Chris, her CW, and then the other Chris and his wife that was there at Shanann and Chris's house, okay? And it showed their little girl and Bella playing, and his wife was holding a little baby boy. I thought that was really odd that they were all there spending the night at
I know,
CW,
and it's even weirder that Shanann and the other Chris dated in high school, supposedly.
Yeah.
And then didn't he go away to the military, and then she married Leonard King?
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
And then they rekindled.
You got an ex-boyfriend coming to your house, with your new house. I don't know. I just thought it was really
it's weird. And then they were going on them trips together without their significant others. Like God knows what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was probably fun. They were probably banging, and they probably kept it a secret. And then once it got to the point where she's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving Chris," here's your daughter, and I'm about to have your son type shit. He was probably like, uh-oh, I didn't sign up for this. I was having a good time. I ain't about to leave my wife and my kids for you.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to this situation than what we know. Yep, sure do.
Because there was a picture that was shown to Chris Watts. I've seen the video of it. They showed it to him while they were interviewing him. And Cece was wearing a white dress, like a white fancy dress. And he was like, "Where did you get this picture?"
Yeah, he said he never seen it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
She had met up with the other Chris, and she brought Cece with her. There's no mention that Bella was brought, but Cece went with her.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like really pissed off about that.
Yeah, he was. Mm-hmm. I remember that. And that dress, yeah, I remember that. Sure do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why are you dressing up your daughter to go see some dude? And why not bring your other kid? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling, like I said, there's a lot of things that, like that slip of the tongue, like when she said, he said she went on a play date with her other two daughters. Yeah, she said it was the tongue. I don't think so.
Yeah, this case is dirty. And I think that's, I think that was a lot of motivation for why her family and the people that were involved covered it up, because everybody involved would have looked really fucking bad. Not to mention it would have made that company she was working for look really fucking bad, because her uplines were basically, sucking her dry financially.
Yeah.
They couldn't let that come out. Thrive couldn't afford to have that come out.
I think she was getting in trouble with the company anyway, because she'd been going into Facebook groups telling people that cured lupus and other health problems.
Yeah, that's right.
They were kicking her out of there because she's causing so much ruckus and stuff. But you can't go around, even if any of these things, where you're representing vitamins or some kind of program that's supposed to. I asked my neurologist about it. He said, "Do you honestly think if it cured that stuff, you think we wouldn't be selling this stuff or recommending this stuff in our offices?"
Yeah, no shit.
Really? He said, "Stop and think about that. I'm a neurologist. I would be going to bat if I really thought there's any truth in what you're telling me." He said, "There isn't, and they can't promote that." Because
and you got to be a shithead to sell snake oil to sick people, you know what I mean, who are desperate to find a cure.
Yeah. And where they have to change their phone number and get them a different mailbox to keep her from sending stuff and calling. Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah, she was harassing people.
Yeah, she was.
And
Yeah.
there was evidence of it that her mother scrubbed off the internet. She was in all these different support groups for all this different kind of shit. Just like that support group she was in for survivors of domestic abuse. And she was spinning that bullshit about that drastic measures, how she had made some mistakes, but she believed her husband made them too, and that she was going to have to take drastic measures to be with the one she loved. Her mother didn't even know half the shit she was doing until people called the shit out, and her mother had to dig into her social media accounts to go in and delete it and then tell everybody that the trolls made it, that the trolls made those comments. Oh, bullshit.
Well, you know, they can really blame themselves for a lot of this for people digging, because they could have legally took all that stuff down instead of leaving it
No, but
up.
they're profiting off of it. That's
But
the
they're
thing.
making money, and that's the reason why.
And they're getting
Yes.
attention. And I think that I think that their heads are getting a little bit too big now. You know what I mean? And I think that Sandy thinks she's invincible because she's got away with all this shit. But you know what I mean? She didn't. And that's the problem. She didn't get away with it. We see it. We see you, Sandy. We see you.
Here's the thing. I think that the idea that Facebook whatever of Shenan's was left open and everybody had full access to seeing all of her ridiculous posts, I think it's just like the scumbag attackers. You can't stick all that obvious stuff on, Front Street and expect people not to say, hey, look at that.
You know what, though? I honestly think that they're so fucked up that they thought she was a normal mom. Like, that's normal to them. Smacking your kids around and medically abusing them is probably normal for Sandy. So Sandy wouldn't have seen that as being a problem.
Well, you know what? That one video where she had up where they were at the pizza place and she kept taking the drink from Bella, about 3 or 4 times, grabbed her drink and wouldn't let her have it.
Yeah, that's disturbing right there.
That right there was all I needed to know.
And it was the only interaction that we seen right off the bat with Sandy with those kids, and it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah,
the first interaction, she's taking a drink, Bella's having fun mimicking her, and then Bella goes to take a drink, and she's scolding Bella for taking a drink.
They're dancing. Yeah, they're sitting there dancing in the booth, and she's imitating everything that her grandma's
doing. That's confusing for a child. You know what I mean? Sandy might not even be aware how fucked up she is, and she probably did that to Shanann her whole life too.
Yeah, well, Frank said that they went doctor shopping all the time because they didn't know what was wrong with her. She had headaches, and that they were she's constantly being took to doctors to try to find out what was wrong. Yeah,
and
I think it went on.
In that letter that she wrote to the police, in there, I think she pretty much alluded to the fact that she was the one pushing Shanann to find a doctor or to keep taking the girls to the doctor until they were diagnosed with asthma too.
Yes, and she could have been telling her daughter, ways of doing these things that could have even got Shanann in trouble. You know what I mean? Like Sandy's old hustles from the 80s might have worked back in the 80s, but they've caught on to a lot of that shit now, and they keep track of what people do. Just like with the doctor, with the pill seeking shit, Shanann was getting scripts and using different names to get different scripts at different locations. Now you can't get away with that shit. Like, that's fucking around with fire doing that shit because they keep track of all that stuff. She might have been getting away with it for the time being, but it was going to catch up to her.
I'd love to know what was in that container in the basement, all that medicine. I'd love to know what all was in there because that thing was full of prescriptions, full of
probably from Amazon.com.
Yeah, she had a lot of medical devices that she was using on the kids that she bought off of Amazon, like things that you do not need to be using on your kids. You know what I mean? That's really signify that she's just being some sick, twisted weirdo who wants to play Nurse Nene over there, with her kids.
At one of our recent live chats, people were saying that the EpiPens were expired or something?
Expired. Yes, they were expired. And Chris even was already trained to give an excuse to the police as to why they were expired and why they didn't have them replaced. So even he knew, you know what I mean? Even she had him lying over that shit. Okay, she had him believing that it was okay to not have an up-to-date EpiPen on a kid who's severely anaphylactic. That's how dumb Chris Watts was.
Well, if the kids truly needed EpiPens, they would have had current prescriptions.
Exactly. You don't skip out on shit like that.
Well, the pharmacy usually will call the doctor's office now and tell them that they haven't picked them up. So the doctor's office is aware that they're not picking those up, so they can notify the patient that they can't do that because that's a matter of life and death for somebody.
Well, it is. You cannot use an older one because the consistency of the epinephrine will change over time.
Yeah. Yeah, the chemical compound changes. Don't people use them to get messed up off of?
I had kids that had asthma and was on, and I had to mix the stuff. They had mucomyster. They had different things, you know, bronchus. I don't remember all the stuff, but I had to measure exactly, and I had to be taught for 3 weeks before I come home from the hospital with him to give him those breathing treatments and stuff. And he was on an apnea monitor. I had to go through 3 weeks of training at Texas Children's Hospital before they would release me to come home.
See, and think about that. If there was a protocol, she would have been talking about that on social media. She would have said what you just said, because that's how Shanann was, and she didn't. Those nebulizers were bought off of Amazon. It Set the Record Straight actually had a video that showed the products on Amazon. So she was just buying shit and using it to make it look as if that's what was going on. And then she even talked about putting those essential oils in those fucking breathing things.
Yeah, what was it? The eucalyptus and the lavender.
Yeah, you don't put that in there. That's fucking poison.
Well, but if you are being pressured to take the kids to the doctor again and to try to talk them into the girls having asthma, because guess what?
Exactly.
This is for?
Exactly. And both kids had all kinds of toxic chemicals in their lungs that was there long term. And like the chemical compounds of these things are like stuff found in like nail polish remover, hairspray, paint, stuff that should not be in a child's freaking lungs.
Uh-huh.
Well, all it would take would be some lavender oil, and the kids would probably present at the pediatrician with asthma.
Exactly.
Not that they had asthma, but they, you know.
And that's why the video that Straight released, I can totally get down with that Chris might have been fucking drugged with something, because if you ain't got no problem fucking drugging and poisoning your kids, I'm sure you don't have no problem, you know, drugging the husband so that you can incapacitate him to try to get the kids out of the home.
Well, and it's all about power and control. If she was
exactly.
Every ounce of power and
if everybody believes that fucking Sandy is some high priestess witch or something, you know, they'd go along with this shit.
Yeah, she's something.
She's not. She's just an abuser. She's an abuser.
She's a basket case, if you ask me.
I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody that the opinions expressed by the panel guests
are not that of the creator.
You should just have a banner going across the bottom of your screen the whole time this is playing that says that.
Yeah, me and Honey's up here. You better just play it. These opinions are not necessarily the ones of this creator. Yeah.
I'm searching my banners. I've got a whole bunch of them here. Let's see. I'll create one. Here we go. Okay. How did I say that? The opinions expressed
on this panel may not be those of this creator.
Yep, that's right, Sandy. That neck brace was also from Amazon. Like, all these things can be easily searched. Like, you can Google search anything that Shanann Watts, all those things that she was playing with, you can Google search it, and literally it hits right on the same exact products this bitch had. And then even that shampoo that she was ordering, the reviews for that shampoo causes your hair to fall out. So why the fuck would you be buying shampoo with the worst ratings on Amazon that claim to cause your hair to fall out? To me, that says she knew that caused hair to fall out, and that she was either using it on herself or she was using it on the kids to make them look more sickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things being done to those kids to make them, yeah.
And that's the other thing about how obvious it was. It was so obvious, you know. What are the 3 top, whatever, I think it was according to the Mayo Clinic's website.
Poisoning, smothering.
Malnutrition and smothering, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, which all three, she's got all three. Yeah. She's got all 3 of them down pat there. Because those kids, you can tell that they were malnourished. You can tell, like Cece's fucking going around with cups trying to find water sources and shit. Anytime she got a chance, climbing up on fucking counters and shit. The poor kid was constantly thirsty.
Almost falling in a toilet.
Yeah, and there was even pictures. Shanann used to make fun of her because when she would give her something to drink, she would like slam it, like gulp, gulp, and then breathe heavy. And she would say, "Take human sips, Cece," and laugh at her because she was so thirsty that she would just go crazy when she would get something
all
to
that
drink.
Benadryl, and Tylenol.
Yeah.
That's from
Benadryl, Tylenol, and also hunger, and also
breathing that stuff from those machines too. I mean those oils, yeah. Ooh.
And if you think about the diet, wasn't it noodles and pizza? That's called salt.
Yeah, garbage. Marshmallows and pepperonis and
chocolate chips. No fruit. No fruit.
Yeah, I never seen her give them kids fruits and vegetables, not once.
I think.
How do you not have kids? You know, you got kids. Usually, you see people like that doing that kind of stuff. There's shit everywhere. Sippy cups, bowls of this, little bags of this. There's always snacks available for children. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And there's always an apple being carried around too. Always.
Like your kids should never be begging for food.
No drawings, no paintings, no nothing that kids ever did at school. Nothing.
But that would have made them super thirsty with that shit diet, because even just the pizza alone, it sounds like pizza was like their go-to.
Well, and then even the fact she was giving them all those Thrive bars and shit, you know, that probably didn't make it any better.
She shouldn't have been giving them those because they were, it said right on those wrappers, I believe.
Yeah, not for kids.
Yeah, and for made in a factory where there's nuts and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and she tried to deny that. There was even a video where she was doing a live chat when they were eating them in the kitchen, and somebody said something to her in the chat about the nuts, and she tried to brush it off real fast and then got off the live stream.
That's the brand new one that didn't even have a label on it yet because it was brand new, so she didn't even know what was in it.
Exactly. But you're going to give it to your kid and be so concerned and bitch about everybody. Anytime you go to somebody's house, they got to put away all the peanuts. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, when it came to her, and what about the freaking jars of peanut butter in the house? Why would you have an industrial sized jar of peanut butter in your house if your kid is allergic to it?
And why would one grandmother think it was peanuts and the other grandmother be told it was tree nuts?
And she didn't keep that jar of peanut butter on a high shelf. It was on the lowest shelf in the pantry.
Yeah. Sure was. Yep.
She's a lying sack of shit.
Yeah. Yep. She just.
Pardon my French.
She just.
Well, I'm okay. I've got the banner going across the bottom.
There you go.
You know, I do sometimes like even seeing Straight's video today too. I was like, oh my gosh, and you know, I look at stuff like that, or I hear sometimes when you say stuff, Honey Badger, or when other people, I mean, Lisa said a couple things, a couple live chats ago and stuff. And when you guys, when any of you say anything that I think, oh my goodness, wait a minute, that's kind of getting, you know, close to the line there, you know, kind of thing. And I start like hyper analyzing stuff. And I think, you know what? Good on you for having the guts to be absolutely right out there saying what you think. Now,
well, it needs to be said. That's it. It needs to be said.
I say right what I think. I'm not a flip flop and whatever. I'm always very.
Yeah, but you have to be a little bit more careful because they know who you are.
Well, but I don't say everything that I think. I mean, I think a lot more.
Oh, I know that. Trust me. I know.
Yeah. So, but and there are times where you'll say exactly.
Well, trust me, there's things that I haven't said that I think.
Oh, there's things that I haven't said.
Oh, yeah. There's things that I know about this case that I haven't said because they're really fucked up. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to put that out there.
Yeah. So when they're saying stuff like, oh, you're bashing a dead woman who can't defend herself.
No, we're not.
I think to myself, honey, you want to see bashing? Because I haven't bashed anybody. But, my disgust with this entire case, besides all the attacks against so many of us, my disgust is that anybody is so interested in trying to pretend that she wasn't abusing those poor babies. Those poor babies deserved to have a life. They deserved to go for a walk. they deserve to be in dance class, to actually be in
To
dance.
play in the dirt.
And
Yeah.
not be afraid of water and not be
Yeah.
afraid to go outside. I mean, come on.
Like
And
their
not
poor
about
little
moms.
short lives, you know?
There's that one video that was put up. It's the one with that shirt that the Martian's wife was wearing. The same one, that Lulo crap.
Yes. The orange shirt that was
yeah.
probably Shenan's.
Well, isn't that weird that they would have had an identical shirt? I don't know. That's
Well,
just kind of
I believe because Sandy was in their ear because Chris stayed with them. Okay, Chris stayed with them that night because he didn't want to stay in the house, and the husband seen what was going on with Sandy, and they were aware that Chris felt like he was being watched. They were aware that Chris felt somebody was listening to him. They were aware that Chris said that he felt like he was being set up, that man told him to get a lawyer. That's why they let him stay at the house. Okay. And then Sandy called him the next morning when Chris was being interviewed by the police and gave this guy the riot act and basically made him feel bad because he had a murderer in the house with his kid. And he's like, I didn't know. So whatever she said to him twisted him all up, because he even called the investigators and asked to speak to them because he knew something that was going on there, and the investigators never contacted him back. And then Sandy was like, you need to give a statement to the FBI. And then that's when they did that interview. And you can see he's sitting there uncomfortable and not really wanting to say the wrong thing, but not really understanding what was entirely going on. And they also picked up and moved shortly after that. And I think they were paid off.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised.
That other family knew stuff too, the Lindstrom.
Because they asked them to pick up Dieter, remember? And they were like, well, why do you want us to pick up Dieter? And she was, and Sandy was trying to be all nice. Oh, because you guys are close and this and that. So they picked up Dieter. I wouldn't be surprised if Sandy didn't tell the wife, why don't you go through Shenan's closet and pick whatever you want? You can shine like Shenan too. She's been trying to give away and sell Shenan shit ever since she died.
Well, it's up and down. We're still.
Hold up here. He's wearing his wedding ring. This guy's wearing his wedding ring on his right hand.
Confused and kind of feel.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like I could pick up my phone and call Shenan and talk about how sad I am, and it just doesn't. It doesn't feel real.
And there's another thing in the interview. If you watch their hands, she's holding his arm, and when he says certain things, she squeezes his arm, and he kind of pushes her arm away. So they were trying to be careful about what they were saying.
Like seeing the press conferences and stuff like that. It almost seems removed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the person they're talking about isn't somebody we know.
Right.
To be honest,
different.
Isn't it kind of somebody you didn't know?
Right. I mean, that's what we learned. I mean, we thought we knew him. Didn't think he was ever capable of doing anything like this. I mean, there was no any of our times of hanging out.
Oh, it looks like he has a wedding ring on his left hand too. So never mind that.
That he was ever capable of doing something like this. And I think Amanda and I latched onto that, and that's why we were kind of there for him. And it's just we couldn't see that to be a possibility.
Last time I talked to you guys, you were really leading search efforts online. You were doing everything you can to find Shenan and her daughters. What was it like when you heard that outcome?
Honestly, I didn't believe it. You hear all the time that news is wrong. They don't have the correct information, and it wasn't until the detective called me, right as the conference was going on, and asked me to come pick up Dieter, that it hit. And then I just broke down from there. So.
Yeah. What's the dog's name?
Dieter.
What kind of dog?
He's a little wiener dog, little Dachshund, I guess. Super cute, very friendly. He loves to give kisses.
Why did they ask you guys to take the dog? You know.
So I'm not sure. Like, I know Amanda reached out last night because we were concerned. Like, obviously Chris is still at the police station. He was at our house all night last night. Like, a dog needs cared for. So Amanda just reached out and said, hey, is somebody doing this, or can we go get them? But that was just a voicemail. When I spoke to Shanann's mom this morning, she told me that she told the FBI to call us to get them. So
there it is. He said he spoke with Shanann's.
Yep, she called him that morning.
Really?
When she found out Chris was staying there.
They got our name to say, hey, come.
Yeah, and somewhere they got our name.
Trusting you, I guess, to care for their dog.
She's trusting you to care for their dog.
Aside from the dog, you didn't just let the dog in.
Yeah, she manipulated him. She emotionally manipulated those people. That's what she did. That's what she's good at. She fed him a bunch of bullshit and emotionally manipulated him, and then made him feel bad because they had a quote murderer in the house with their young daughter.
I really like jewelry, and I noticed. So I guess I'm noticing things that I never noticed before here about the rings and stuff. But it looks like the wife has just one earring in.
She doesn't look like she's wound too tight either. All these people are strange to me. They're all a little off. Something in the water out there.
This guy in our house, I mean, had we had any inclination that we thought he was involved at all, no way would I have let him in my house with my wife and kid.
Pause that. See, that's in reference to the conversation with Sandy, right? So she's like, oh, it's not your fault you let a murderer in the house next to your children. We forgive you. Just make this right and make sure you give the fucking FBI a good interview. This is what you're going to say.
I have a question for you guys, because I know you guys are a lot younger than me. So this seems odd to me. Is this normal for a father to say that he let this guy in the house near his wife and kid? Wouldn't he have said daughter or child or something? Like, who calls their kid their kid? Is that?
I don't hear that much. I mean, I'm 70, but I mean, they usually refer to my daughter or my son. I unless it's somebody that's just kind of, I don't know. You hear that?
Well, Shanann referred to them as monsters, and that's not normal.
Yeah.
I think all these people probably have a lot in common, Mensa.
My kiddos,
you know what I mean?
My kiddos are driving me crazy. Yeah.
I think they're all on that MLM disability list you talk about.
Oh, I don't. I think they work, don't they? I think they do. But here's the thing. If somebody else is saying to you, you let him near your wife and kid, then he may be more apt to say that as opposed to how he may have naturally said it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like he was programmed. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what she does. That's exactly how she operates. That's the dark arts shit. That's people who are, they're skilled in manipulating people. That's what car salesmen and shit, the type of books they read.
Here's something else. Sandy and Happy Angie both landed on this too. Let's not forget it. We've talked about this before, but remember this. How many times do we hear the word inclination? This guy just said inclination. We hear that all the time throughout this case. So is that somebody saying to them, oh, just say that you had no inclination, right? Because that word is used a lot. Why?
We should see if it's in Sandy's letter.
Yeah, because that letter left a lot to be desired as far as her English and her penmanship.
Yeah, you're damn right, P-Money. You are damn right.
That's shit.
The first time I read that, I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is her interview. I'm like, they allowed her to do this, and this is what she gave them. I'm like, with the razor blades. It sounded like a soap opera, like All My Children, or one of them soap operas where they kill the brother, and then he comes back, and he's got so-and-so's kid, and you know what I mean? Like crazy ass shit.
Well, and
why was she allowed to do a letter as an interview, and Yeah,
Like I said, I
go
think
in
she
and
was
do
saying
one.
she was disabled or something, like she couldn't get around easily because, you know, she didn't go out there to do the interview. She was able to type a fucking letter. So I'm sure she gave a good excuse as to why she wasn't going out there, because she probably would have looked a little strange. Her daughter's dead and she's making a big stink and up everybody's ass, but can't get out there.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why the attack against Cindy Watts. I don't understand that
Yeah,
at all.
you
I don't
do. You
either.
know,
I don't
you
get
get
that.
it. You get
No,
it.
I mean, it doesn't fit.
Because she's
at all.
projecting it all onto Cindy. Sandy is trying to make Cindy Sandy, basically. Everything that Sandy did, all the fucked up shit she's done, she's trying to put that on Cindy. That's why they're talking about the inappropriate mother-son relationships and all this weird shit. That's what fucking Sandy does. That's her and Frankie. She's talking about her and Frankie when she's referring to Cindy and Chris. Do you understand?
Well, I know one
so.
thing. When I saw the picture of the wedding, you know.
Oh, and she looked exactly like Cindy with dark,
she
short
sure
hair.
did.
She never
sure
had
did.
dark hair. I'd never seen any other pictures of her throughout her life where she had dark hair, except for at her daughter's wedding.
Because at first, when I saw that
she was
picture,
trying to emotionally and mentally manipulate Chris, like being the mother figure that was there for him. We support you. We support your love. We're here for this marriage.
And Cindy told me that there was something really creepy that happened when he first started dating, or not first started, but before they got married and then before they moved to Colorado. And that is that Sandy and Shanann evidently, according to Cindy, both kept telling Chris that Cindy never taught him how to cook. And
why does he need to know how to cook if he's going to be fucking working all goddamn day? That's not the man's job. If she wanted the traditional housewife role, why did he need to cook?
Well, let's keep in mind that Shanann would be saying that Chris didn't know how to cook. Chris is the one who cooked. Shanann's the one who was boiling eggs in a rice cooker, remember? I mean, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, he grilled the chicken out on the grill. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. So the irony in that is almost, you know what I mean? But Cindy said that
well, my man does not cook. He does not have to cook. He does not need to know how to cook. Okay.
Well, I think it's good.
I think that's how that should be.
I think it's good for everyone to know how to cook, but I think there's something especially strange for Shanann to be going, your mother never taught you how to cook. Yeah,
it's a manipulation tactic. Yeah. She's trying to say like your mother wasn't a good mother because she didn't teach you all those things.
Well, and
usually mothers don't have to teach their sons how to cook. They teach their daughters how to cook. You know what I mean? I mean, that's when I was growing up.
Well, I didn't want my husband in the kitchen because he couldn't boil water, believe me.
Yeah, right. They just end up making a mess anyways. It's like, you know, just go sit down.
You teach both your sons and your daughters how to do, you know, you don't want your son to be like helpless in a kitchen. You don't want your daughters to be helpless.
Well, you know, the basics, but you know, he doesn't need to be knowing how to make a fucking pasta fazool and tetrazzini and shit.
But here's the thing. Cindy worked full time for something like 42 years or something. Full time.
She came home and cooked every night.
Yeah,
too.
Sandy wouldn't know shit about that, Mensa. She wouldn't know a goddamn thing about working 40 years. Come on now.
Cindy worked full time, kept her house clean, had dinner on the table on time, right? And so
the kids were took care of, I think, by the grandmother, weren't they, until they got home from work?
Yeah, and she lived right across the street.
Yeah.
So they had a great family unit right there. They had the family right there and the grandparents. Chris was raised right.
Exactly.
Shanann was not.
And here's the thing, is that when they started dating before they moved to Colorado, this is creepy. This is creepy as all get out. And Cindy was telling me about it. Cindy, the phone would ring all of a sudden. Okay, Chris is 25 years old. He's got his own place. He moved out a long time ago because he went to that training and he was working. He lived like, an hour away or something. So her phone would ring out of the blue and it would be Chris saying, Shanann's mom is teaching me how to cook. And then she could hear Shanann in the background. Yeah, tell your mom that my mom's teaching you how to cook. I mean, that's just psycho. That is so psycho. To think that Cindy's like, oh, well, that's nice. Okay, yeah, that's nice.
That's the problem. These people were always on some shit. They were always stirring up shit.
Well, I mean, how sick is that you would have to try to set that in motion to try to convince Chris Watts that his mother failed him because...
Well, Remember, Frank Sr. said that Sandy didn't get along with his wife, with his mother either. If you remember,
Yep.
and they didn't get along with his family. So, yeah, kind of a
And
pattern there.
she said that in her letter too, that she knew that Cindy would be a problem because she had the same problem with her own mother-in-law.
Yeah,
well, maybe,
right.
maybe that explains why she always had a thing against Cindy. You know, I don't know. But too, they moved far away from
Well,
his.
Cindy probably made her look bad. Think about it. You know what I mean? Her daughter probably seen what a good mother and a good family look like when she, you know, met Chris and them. So her kids were seeing a good example. Sandy was not showing a good example. So Sandy had to manipulate everybody around her and fuck with people to distract from the fact that she was a shit person. That's why she would accuse other people of stuff so that they didn't look at her.
I agree, Sandy. It's passive aggressive manipulation is what it was. And that's the other thing that Cindy shared is that whenever Shanann was around her mother, that she always had a difficult time just continuing to be her normal self around Cindy. It was like she couldn't handle having both relationships. Well, maybe she was being pressured not to have both relationships.
Uh-huh.
Because, you know, there were only 2 times where they had trouble.
That's what I think. That's why I mean when I say I think Sandy was fucking with Shanann's head and making Shanann look at situations from Sandy's fucked up point of view so that she can con Shanann into, you know, taking certain steps, which ended up fucking her in the long run.
The 2 times that Shanann had trouble with her mother-in-law were both times when she returned from Colorado and was staying in North Carolina.
Sandy was always involved every time there was problems with Cindy.
And then if you think about it, the nut meltdown, Shanann was talking to her mother on the phone. She hung up the phone and she had her nut meltdown. Because she called her mother and she said they're tag team.
Yeah, they're tag teaming. Who says that shit?
Exactly.
Unless you're the type of person that does that type of shit. You know what I mean? You would be if you do those things, you're paranoid that other people are doing them to you.
Sandy has an announcement. Sandy says, "That's it. I am filing for a name change."
Oh man.
Well, at least
we still love you, Sandy.
Way, you know.
We'll have to come up with a cute nickname for Sandy, so that way when she's in here, she can just identify with that instead of, you know, constantly hearing Sandy.
Well, I am disgusted by so much of what we've been told about this case, and then you look at those videos and you just go, "Are you flipping kidding me?"
That's why they're covering it up, because it's so freaking dirty. Sandy is not going to be that person. If she's manipulated people her whole life, like, did you see the community post that Set the Record Straight put up, where it talked about how Sandy's been, he said, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, medically, taking advantage of people her whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is how she operates. She probably can't even help but do it.
I can't remember if I saw that.
She's quite a controller. She's quite a controller.
And she does everything behind the scenes. And then think about how fucked up that is probably for her kids.
Well, just that ordeal out at the cemetery that she did. And the way she's talking about her childhood and her grandma.
Oh, yeah, and her fake crying and snot bubbling.
Yeah, and that her mom's sick for, what was it, 20 years? Well, I don't know. That sounded all weird to me.
That one where she said she was 8 years old in the early 1960s?
Yeah,
somebody's asking weird. Mensa, did the first husband ever give a statement? Yes, he did give a statement. We should find that. Mensa, you could probably find that. I Set the Record Straight re-uploaded a Leonard King video the other day.
Is it?
And the statement's in there.
Okay.
You know, his wife worked for Thrive, too.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I think Leonard King knew a lot more. And I think that he just doesn't want to say, because he doesn't want to get dragged into the Sandy crazy train.
Well,
I'm sure anybody who's dealt with Shanann knows about her and her mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling he knows a lot, but he doesn't want involved in that.
And it's funny how both Shanann and Sandy had to uproot themselves from where they came from to go fucking hide out somewhere else. You know what I mean? That just tells you what kind of people they are.
What am I looking for?
Oh, Leonard King. his statement. I mean, if you want to recap it, I don't know if I want to sit here and recap it.
No, I mean, which video?
Leonard King.
Oh, is that the name of the video?
Yeah.
Let's look here.
But yeah, they were married, I believe, 2002 to 2009.
He said 2000.
Or no, 27. No, it was 2002, 2003 to 207, 208.
Yeah, he said he didn't know. Remember, he said 2 different years.
Yeah. Well, what it was is they separated at the end of the year, at the end of 2007. But she was still living at the house for a short period of time with his parents. So
But
they
she
had
wasn't
gotten
coming home, right? She quit
they had
coming home,
gotten
that was
such
the-
bad financial situation. Like I said, they had a house when they were married, and then every 2 years they were moving. They were moving because they were moving into lower income housing until eventually they went back to his parents' house, and then she was using him and his mother's P.O. box address to get mail there.
Didn't she have a P.O. box to some retail store?
Yeah, let me check my let me find my.
Okay, here it is. It says CBI agent interviewed him by phone on August 15, 2018. So it would have been 2 days later. He reported to being married to her from 2002 or 2003 and divorced her in 2007 or 2008. Doesn't he know when he got married? Doesn't he know when he got divorced? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but see, remember, she stopped coming home for a while, so they were like, the situation was weird. He didn't really get closure on that. He wanted her to go to therapy, and she just kind of blew him off because she didn't want him to know.
He should have known. I mean,
she didn't want him to know that she was a failure.
He wasn't an attorney yet, though. He was still in law school.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that he might have been at some point was in the military during that time period too. But yeah, after you can just turn the volume down on that, Mensa, since you're just reading it.
There, yeah, good thing.
After they separated.
According to Leonard, their marriage did not go well. Shanann poured herself into her work. Yeah, right. Spent a lot of time on the phone and stopped coming home most nights. He tried to talk to Shanann and even suggested couples counseling, but she wasn't interested. Actually, she did go a couple of times, but what he said was she refused to take part in it. She sat there not talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, here it goes.
Yeah, she didn't want nobody analyzing her.
They attempted couples sessions, but he said it was virtually impossible to engage her in conversation. And then there's the picture of the We Got This gang. Always a drink in the hand.
Uh-huh.
Shanann began a new job as a store manager. Well, we've heard she was human resources. We've heard she was store manager. We've heard she was financial something or other. And we heard
while she was married to Leonard King, that's when she started her affair with Hisham.
We heard that she owned the place too. Remember that she was part owner.
Yeah. I guess when you're banging the boss, you can say whatever you want.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Paula, do you want a banner too? Oh my goodness.
Hey, just keeping it real over here. Just keeping it real.
He filed for the divorce, and he was the first to sign the papers. They divorced in either 2007 or 2008 in South Carolina. Was it South Carolina or North Carolina? They might have lived farther. I don't know. Maybe he was stationed.
She always said she was never from South Carolina. She lived in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Remember? She made a big deal about it. She didn't want to be associated with the South whatsoever. I thought, okay.
South in that one
And
video.
after the divorce, and after she stayed at his parents' house, she didn't want to go back home right away. You can see in her timeline that she was trying not to go back home to her mother. And she was staying at places. I think she stayed at, I think it was a friend's house. It was an address that popped up twice in her timeline. And there was a P.O. box that she was using, and she was having mail forwarded to a retail store. I Googled the address, and it's a retail. It looks like some little shit complex, you know, like shopping complex with little stores in it. She was having her mail sent there. And then whatever she was doing wasn't working out too well for her. She had to go home to her parents. And then after she moves out of her parents, you start to see she moves into an apartment. She moves into this little apartment, and then not even a few months later, she's moving into the city, into a really expensive, like a bougie little apartment, like something that sugar daddy would put you up in. And then after that, she was there for, I believe, I don't know. She didn't stay places very long. Like, I don't think she stayed anywhere more than 2 years. And then after that, she got that house in 2011. I think that's when she got that house, right?
No, she got the house in December of 2009, but I bet you she didn't even live there, right?
There was a period of time she wasn't living in that house. While she owned it, she had 3 different other addresses that she was getting mail to while she was supposedly living in that house.
Yeah, she's making all this money, you know. Yeah. Oh.
Well, she was probably renting it out and then just pocketing the money, because even it looks like in her timeline, these little apartments that she was staying at, it doesn't look like they were paying their rent. It looks like they were just getting kicked out. It looks like, you know what I mean?
You mean because they move so often, you mean?
Yeah, there was a pattern. It was a pattern, almost like clockwork. Like literally, if I show you guys these dates, you would be like, what the fuck? I've never seen anybody move that much. I couldn't even mentally deal with that, moving that many times. Like, she was literally the type of person that would just pick up and go, which doesn't surprise me that she left shit behind. You know what I mean?
Well, here's something else. When I read that letter that her mother sent to the police, she said that she met this guy, and then a few months later, after meeting Christopher Watts, then she said to her mom that she met this guy, but he's just a mechanic or whatever. That whole thing, as if a mechanic is below them somehow.
Right. Yeah. Because, you know, Shanann was, she was accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle, Mensa.
Yeah. For like 3 months already.
Yeah. Right.
But if you think about it, if she's meeting this guy, they didn't live that far away from each other. She didn't live that far away from her mom at all. Why was it months later when she told her she met this guy? Like, wouldn't you tell you? I mean, right? Wouldn't it be like
she didn't have a good relationship with her mother? She didn't want. I don't think she wanted. I think her mother would get into her business and fuck with her shit. You know what I mean? And I think that she tried to give her mother as little information as possible about what she was doing. And
I think her mom wanted to run her life.
Yes, P Money, you're absolutely right.
It fits with what you're saying, though, about all those addresses that you're talking about. Because
think about it. She went to a woman's shelter.
No.
Let me say this really quick, though.
Okay, go ahead. We're running this.
Yes, when she left Leonard King, she stayed at Elect Ladies Ministry Church, which is a woman's shelter, from 2005 to 2007. So she was trying to.
No way. There's no way she could do that. No way.
She was in and out of a women's shelter.
Well, or she could.
What I'm saying to you is, she would have rather went to a women's shelter than go home to her mother. But eventually, she ended up having to go back to her mother's house.
No, but she may have just used whatever for an address and then been staying like with this friend or that friend, maybe. Because
I don't know, because there are addresses. There is a friend here I can see that she stayed with through periods of time, and I would have think that she'd have stayed. Like, if I showed you this, you would understand where I'm coming from.
Well, now I forgot what I was going to say. What was it? Oh, that if she waited months to tell her mother about meeting a guy, and then who knows how many months after that before they got together for that grill, because they met for the cookout. they met on August 10th of 2010. So if it was a few months later before she told her mother she met this guy, and then a few months after that, if they're doing a cookout, it might have been springtime, right? So that would fit with what you're saying, because maybe she was actually renting the place out and they were staying somewhere else. And then 6 months later, they had a new renter or something and they went ahead and had a cookout. I don't know.
Well, and Chris, if you look at Chris's addresses, he was also staying with her outside of that house. You know, together they were not living in that house. And the places that they chose to live, I would have rather lived in that house. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right. It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have been at the house or that they would have any other address for any
She
mailing.
couldn't afford to live in that house. And that was probably one of her means of making money. And at that time, she was selling multi-level marketing products. She was selling those like monogrammed bags, you know, like the diaper bags and the beach bags. And then those stupid necklaces, they're like timepiece necklaces. It looks like a looking glass and you could put like seashells and your initials and birthstones inside there. They were selling that crap on Facebook.
Okay.
And she was doing her closet business. That's right. She had the thing for the closet organizing business.
And she was claiming she was going to start nursing
So
school.
you ain't making money. And, you know, she couldn't afford to live in that house. However she got that, she did not work for it, okay? She did not earn enough money in a period of time to be able to live there. And she couldn't even afford to live there when she did have the house.
I wonder if she paid the HOA dues.
I have my thoughts on how she got the house, but I'm not going to say. But
yeah, what I said about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, then you don't get your own banner. I wouldn't know how to do two banners at the same time anyway, but I could put like, and this goes for Paula too, or something.
Just put slip Honey Badger and P Money disclaimers.
Oh, this is interesting. It's an ad for in the straight video. It's an ad for the MLM, and it says mental clarity. Are you kidding me? The woman who stands here in front of the making a video going, yeah, the girls were in the emergency room last night. One of them has bronchial pneumonia, and the other one, well, whatever it was, she'll just have to get through it.
How about the self-cleaning onion?
Yeah, self-cleaning onion. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. You guys know who I mean if I say Purple Witch, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I do now, but I didn't.
I'll say it. It's Laura Keck. She's trash.
No, don't do that.
She's trash. Fuck you, Laura. We fucking hate you.
Stop. Okay, listen. Today she said, or whatever day. Today is when I heard it. Today she said, oh shoot. Ah, dang. What did she say? Oh shoot. It's circling. I'll tell you when I hear it. When it comes. So this ad for the multi-level, for the MLM, it says metabolic support, weight management, lean muscle support, joint support, and more. Whatever. Shoot, what was it she said? It was so funny. Oh, take exception, I think it was. She said something like, I take exception to that. Except she didn't say exception. She said something like description or something. She said a totally different word. And I literally laughed out loud when I heard it. It was so cute.
Do you remember when she did the raffle and she was going to give away $25 bills? Not 20, not 20, not 5 20s, $25 bills. I was like, what am I hearing? I had to listen to it like 6 times.
It fits my theory that she did not have control over her own finances. I really don't think she did. I think others had control over her finances. I do.
Even how she was doing them fundraisers or saying, oh, we're giving away 50,000 to this charity today. Remember that? She would do like these extravagant sounding charities that she was giving her money to. It's like, this bitch can't afford nothing and she's claiming she's fucking dropping 20 grand over here and over there.
I don't think she had control over her own money. I think that there are so many puzzle pieces that fit that picture, because why did NA give her $30 cash? Why did NA get her mail? Why did she keep, I guess having a deck of cards of credit cards. I don't think she had money. I don't think she had control over the money. And you want to know something? Think about this on a deeper level. If it became known that she was losing her cash cow, Christopher Watts, or at least her credit rating, Christopher Watts, then who would be motivated would be the person who had control over the money.
You damn right. And who would that be? Sandy.
It says life is better when you're thriving. Really? Really? Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I want to know why I want to know why that house is still in his name. If they there's something funny going on about this.
Yeah, there's something really funny because it said on the tax rolls that he's paying the property taxes.
Maybe his parents used that money that was given to them through the lawsuits. Maybe they're trying to pay for it so that they can keep it.
Wench says that Santa video was slow torture to watch. Cindy Watts said that he signed a whole bunch of papers that they put in front of him. Not Cindy Watts, but the others that they put in front of him, and she didn't think that he had access to the house anymore. Then why is he paying the property taxes?
Why is the house still in his name then?
Yeah, exactly. That you guys can't believe everything you hear from the Rusek camp. You're listening.
Well,
everybody's listening to these channels.
Didn't he get a thing where they was going to take him to court if he didn't cut the yard lawn or something? They were getting ready to.
He got a letter about yard maintenance. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. It says, was Shanann upset and jealous that her husband had moved on so quickly? The first husband, or as far as we know, the first husband, and his new beautiful wife had a dream job working from home, going on lavish vacations. So was his wife in it before Shanann?
Yes.
And Thrive, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Shanann posted a lot about revenge. Like success success is the best revenge.
Whoa.
And she was trying to portray that image. She wanted to look good because she failed with Leonard King. She probably told him all kinds of shit that she was successful. He was going to law school. She was working a retail job and doing whatever else she was doing, fucking organizing closets. She was a liar. And he never found that out probably until after the fact. He probably just seen that they weren't bringing in the same amount of money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, people say that she was a nanny and I say bullshit. People say she worked at a hospital and I say bullshit. Even you saying that she organized closets, bullshit. I don't think she would have stayed focused enough. I think she signed up for an MLM that she probably paid for with a credit card, you know, to sign up.
And she was taking out student loans. So she probably sustained off of that for a good couple years. She couldn't keep the charade up long enough. Shanann could not keep her life together long enough. That's why she was jumping from guy to guy to guy, because she couldn't keep the illusion fucking going long enough.
I think she was on disability. I do. And I don't think she had direct access to control her own money. I don't. I mean, if you wanted to have your closet organized, would you hire her to do it? No.
No, hell no. I can do that shit myself.
Well, you do it yourself, or you would definitely not hire her if she showed up.
Right.
You'd be like, oh my goodness.
Well, even the clientele that she was advertising it to weren't the type of people that are hiring professional closet organizers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
And then remember that thing with her cousin that came out and was talking shit about some stuff with Sandy. She came out and spoke out against all this stuff, and then Sandy got on her and they were fighting. And then all of a sudden, everything's all good in the camp with her and Sandy. And then she starts posting. This girl was hard up asking for money online. She was saying, I had a falling out with my family. I need help. They're not helping me. They were supposed to help me. I need help. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, she's up there again. She's got the support of Sandy again, the support of the Shiners. And she's saying, I want to buy your home. You know those home scams, Mensa?
Right.
You could probably explain that better than I can.
Right. Where they'll try to get their hands on the house without actually buying it. And then they line up a buyer in time that the day they buy it, it's called flipping. They basically flip it to the new buyer walk away with money for some reason, believing they have equity in a house they never owned.
Right. And then remember, that's in Sandy's vocabulary. That's Shanann wanted to flip the house. Remember that? You don't flip that house.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to flip a house, you don't buy a brand new house.
I'm telling you, this is all fucking Sandy's sketchy ass 80s, 80s scams that don't pan out today. You know what I mean?
I'm really glad I put that banner up. Here's a post in this video. It says, it's Shanann posting in 2015 on a Sunday afternoon, evidently, or a Sunday. Quote, it's a Kevin Costner quote. She really liked Hollywood, didn't she? Quote, I don't know, just a lot of people.
She probably spent a lot of time on her ass watching TV.
Yeah. Quote, failure doesn't kill you. Oh, maybe she's talking about the bankruptcy, walking away from 70 grand. Failure doesn't kill you. It increases your desire to make something happen. Oh, really?
Yeah, failure like her marriages, failure like her college, failure like her life. But she was able to create the illusion. That's the important thing here. She was able to create the illusion and
no, she wasn't. Because if she was, then we wouldn't be discussing this case. We'd be thinking, oh, gee, he's a real whatever.
I'm not saying that it wasn't easily found out. I mean, because there are people who believe the illusion, correct? There are people who buy into this shit. Who did in the beginning until we discussed it.
I don't think there are near as many as they want us to think there are.
But you get what I'm saying.
Because
what I'm saying is instead of her actually being successful, she just tried to pretend like she was and tried to give the illusion. She created the illusion for herself. Yes, by putting herself in that house, by getting the Lexus. She did everything that she wanted, everything that she thought would make her look successful. She figured out a way to do it. But the thing was that it was only momentarily these things that she was doing, because it doesn't last. You can only sustain it for so long, or have somebody else sustain it for you.
Well, the Lexus, she couldn't even get that in her own name.
Exactly.
Chris had to get that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that was it was a lease vehicle. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Owned anyway.
And they were probably paying out the ass on it a month. Weren't the payments like $600 a month or something?
I think they were $800.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
something like that. It's outrageous.
I think it was about $800 with the insurance.
Yeah. But I don't even think she was able to create an illusion. I think she was delusional. And I think Christopher Watts was totally doing whatever he could so she wouldn't have a meltdown, knock him on his ass, whatever. And I think that she basically, I think the crazy was in control of the asylum. I think that's what was happening. And I think he didn't know what to do. I think she went nuts big time when she was pregnant with Bella. And I think from that point forward, when she was 32 weeks along and all of a sudden stopped blogging, I think that she had a total psychotic break or episode or whatever. I think she was probably hospitalized for it. And I think from that point forward, Christopher Watts felt trapped because he was probably convinced by people who were in his ear that he wasn't able to divorce her while
and there is physical proof to back what you're saying, because if you look at the way Shanann was about posting about Bella before she was born, but Bella had a Facebook page before she was born. She's showing clothes every day, baby day 1, baby day 2, look at my belly this, look at my belly that, so excited. And then after she had Bella, it dropped off the face of the earth.
No, it wasn't after she had Bella. It was when she was 32 weeks along. And pregnant women do not suddenly lose interest at the 32-week mark. That's when they amp up their posts, Something happened at the 32-week mark or she wouldn't have stopped blogging.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you that there's evidence to prove this. If you look at her activity online and how she was sharing everything and so excited, and then at one point it just falls off into nowhere.
Exactly. And something else I think that is interesting about that is that at the time, probably like a month after the tragedy happened, if you looked at that blog, there were all sorts of pictures with Cindy, and I think she bought her a high chair and a stroller, all sorts of things about the gifts from Mimi and Papa. And then poof, all of a sudden those pictures were no longer on it. It's like, are you kidding me? Cindy and Shanann were close. That's a secret that somebody doesn't want anyone to know. Shanann looked up to Cindy. Shanann respected Cindy. Shanann wanted to be just like Cindy. They were close for over 5 years straight.
From the narcissist perspective, do you think that, and I know this might sound bad, but like Bella wasn't the cutest baby when she was born because she kind of had a look to her? And do you think that maybe that could have had something to do with it? You know, like narcissist mothers usually will, you know, they'll be nicer to the cuter one that looks like them, or, you know, if the one looks like the father, they might treat it a certain way.
No, I don't think so. I think that she did what she could so that Bella wasn't the cute little one. And I personally think Bella was a little doll. And
well,
I think
do too, but the way that she fawned over Cece way more than she did over, like, she talked about Cece's looks and being so cute and work it girl and all this stuff. And she wasn't like that with Bella at all.
Right. But see, I see it differently. I don't see her fawning over Cece at all. I see her.
Yeah, I didn't really. Well, I've got a lot of posts where you can, if you compare, you know, how she talks about the kids, she's a lot nicer to Cece.
Well, this is
even though Cece was her pain in the ass.
This is just my opinion. I think she was abusive and neglectful of both children, and I think that she was more abusive and neglectful toward Bella.
Yeah, she
yes,
liked to
I totally agree with that
all the time. So that's what she
cutting that poor girl's hair off.
Yeah, she sure did. You need a haircut? Yeah.
Yeah, my niece at that age had hair down to her ass.
Exactly.
Well, look how her hair grew just in 6 weeks. They were back.
When Shanann wasn't messing with. Yeah, when Shanann didn't have time to mess with the kids because she was too concerned about
gaining weight and everything.
Yeah, she was focusing on fucking doing damage control and throwing Chris under the bus for an upcoming divorce.
Well, and it just, you know, it makes you wonder how skinny Bella was before North Carolina, because the autopsy, I think she was like 42 pounds and Cece was 39 or something.
If you look at the pictures from when she first got to North Carolina till the time she left, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can literally tell the difference. Like she wouldn't even put any effort into getting those kids ready or dressed. Like the clothes didn't match. She just threw them together. She spent so much time on herself that the kids look like little ragamuffins.
But here's the other thing. There's a photo of her and the girls while they were in North Carolina. Shanann looks really bad. She looks like she's exhausted. She looks like she's
because that's probably the first time she had to deal with them kids for that long.
I don't think she did. I think her mom probably did.
I don't think she was by herself, but she wouldn't have had Chris there to, you know, run around and do everything for her.
No, I don't mean that. What I mean is I think she may have been having some sort of a psychotic weirdness going on. She looked really different than
when she's sitting in the truck, you mean? Yeah, she sure did.
There's one where she's standing like in front of, against the wall with her.
Well, you know what, too? I think that did have something to do with the nut meltdown, because you remember Bella was hiding behind the curtain because she didn't want to leave with her mother and the kids were trying to hide her. And and Shanann would have seen that. And then they made it a point to say that Chris was getting upset because the way the kids were treating him, that they were starting to talk to him like the mother did. And that made me think that Shanann in that moment, seeing herself and the way that everybody reacted to her and the way that her daughter reacted to her, especially Bella.
Well, according to Cindy, when Shanann started yelling, going ballistic, evidently all the kids who were there were frightened of her.
Yeah. Yeah. And that she came barreling down the hallway.
Yeah, that look in her eyes. Can you imagine? Like in those Christmas videos, if that look was in her eyes then, I'd be scared too.
Well, and that's what Cindy said.
And she's not as petite as her, perfectly posed pictures that we see online. She's a bigger girl, so I'm sure she was intimidated barreling down that frickin' hallway.
To Cindy, you mean? Because Cindy said she was afraid of her. Cindy said she was absolutely afraid of her.
Well,
but according to Cindy,
her dad said those legs were vicious.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It's like, how do you know that, Frank? Did you ever get kicked in the chest when your daughter was having a psychotic breakdown?
I think she went a lot of fits and kicking episodes with him. I think he's very well aware of her breakdowns. Yep.
And what I'm saying about that picture of her when she was in North Carolina, she could have been, what's the term, batshit the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she would have lost control. She would have been losing control at that point. So she would have been just spiraling. She would have been spiraling.
Okay, here's what I wanted to say about the delusion. Not so much that she was creating an illusion, but that she was delusional enough to believe that her little storyline, whatever, was believable and not totally transparent. But again, I don't think she was on the videos as much as people thought. I think she was in that little room on the main floor, and I think that's basically where they kept her. I don't think she had a regular day, I don't think she did. I don't. I just
I agree. I think all those times that you seen her made up was when she was able to pull herself together. You know what I mean? To put on whatever show she needed to.
Well, and with mental illness, there might be some days that are better than others, and I think that's when she did her videos. You know, remember one time when I teased that I think that the car was in park and she was just sitting in the driveway?
Yeah, but how right were you? Because every picture, they're just sitting in the driveway. That's kind of, I could get it. She wanted that car, but probably wasn't allowed to drive it with the kids or even drive it at all at that point.
That's what I mean. I don't think it was so much an illusion. I think
she's like, come on, girls, get your crackers and your sippy cups. We're going to go do some videos in the Lexus.
Because I don't think, and then Chris was probably like, no, you can't do that. And she was probably like, what did you say?
Well, do you remember there's a video where she gets on there and she's sitting in the car and she says, don't worry, I'm not driving. I swear to God, the keys are in the house. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yes. She's in the passenger seat and the kids are in the back, and supposedly Chris is about to come out, and she does this live stream, and the first thing she says is, yeah, don't worry, I'm not driving. The keys are in the house, I swear.
Well, there you have it right there then. There you have it right there.
Well, and the kids looked very hot too. They looked like they were very,
I said the car must have been turned off because Bella looked like she didn't have any air conditioning.
The road. Yeah, she said. And you never showed her going and picking the girls up or dropping them off. You never seen her sitting outside of a school waiting and then bringing the kids to the car. Never. Not one video.
Not one.
And the fact that she had pictures of herself posing next to the car all over the house leads me also to believe that she didn't get to drive it very much. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, and that whole magazine thing, anybody who signed up for that MLM.
Yeah. Well, yeah, can do that. Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't.
And that's probably, she probably had to spend money to do that. She probably had to spend money to do the photo shoot and everything. And that probably came out of Chris's fucking pocket.
Exactly.
And she was probably telling everybody, oh yeah, they gifted this to me because I'm a top promoter. She was a liar. She was a liar and just figured out whatever way she could to make it look how she was saying it.
Hey, if you're going to lie about a nursing program, then you're going to lie about Alexis. That's all
exactly.
There is. And here's the other thing though about the whole how she treated the kids and stuff. I don't think she ever bonded with either child. I think those kids, for her, were nothing more than basically in the background for her videos.
Props.
Yeah.
Props.
To draw attention. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at that hospital video where Cindy is so lovingly introducing Bella to Cece.
Oh, yeah, that was so sweet. Yeah.
She's sitting there with a bra on, okay? When you are a nursing mom.
Yeah, she's got a push-up bra on and a low-cut shirt and a face full of makeup.
Exactly. That's a better way to put it.
Her hair's just been straightened.
But get this, when you're a nursing mom, Paula, you're with me on this.
Yeah.
When you're a nursing mom and you're in the hospital after giving birth to one of your babies, you're not putting a bra on.
Nope.
You're not.
No, not at all.
And you're not putting street
They want
clothes
that skin to skin, especially now. Even the fathers have the skin to skin touch.
Well, you're not putting street clothes on either. And she had street clothes, you know. So that whole video is pretty disturbing for people who have actually bonded with their babies, you know, because you look at that video, and then as soon as Bella went to touch her, what did she do? She moved Bella's hand away.
No, she scripted everything just like her mother. She scripted her life. That's what she did. And she used social media to do it. And I wonder, too, if she wasn't embellishing a lot of shit to use it for Thrive, you know, like with the sick kids and all this other stuff, that shit could have also backfired on her. If she's constantly trying to put this fucking sad fishing bullshit out there to get more people to buy her crap, that could have backfired on her if she's putting that shit out on social media and then people looking at like, what is wrong with this woman? You know what I mean?
Like saying rectal thermometer pictures.
Oh, that's fucking disgusting. That pissed me off. Like, you don't even need to be doing that to your kids. You know what I mean? That's just all kinds of disturbing.
Or saying that Bella was sick for 15 days. Yeah. I think she said she had diarrhea for. It was ridiculous, whatever.
And they train those MLMers to use tragedy or to use anything that they can. You know what I mean? It's constant. It's constant emotional manipulation.
Yep.
Well, one of those companies, I read an article where they told the women to go sell their breast milk if that's what it took.
Yeah.
To get them
Yes,
to
I seen that. I seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure did.
I was like, holy shit.
And that LuLaRoe one, they said that you had to have a husband if your husband wasn't supportive, to go find a husband who was supportive or something like that.
Yeah, and to cut off your family members if they didn't buy your product and support you because they don't support your dreams.
Yeah, yeah, to avoid anyone who didn't support the dream. Yeah. Boy, we sure, you know, when you think about the illusion or the delusion, either way, look at how obvious this shit is. You have a 2-year-old at that point, maybe 2.5 years old, I don't know, face first, head first down the stairs, and she takes her picture.
Yeah, she's like, hold on, I got to get my camera, Cece. Don't fall yet. I need my camera, Cece.
And she's hanging off the counter, and she stands there taking her picture. The kids are hysterical while she's gabbing on the phone while they're with her brother who they didn't even know. And they're screaming hysterical, and she doesn't even know to get off the phone and go entertain the kids.
Yeah, pick up the kid, pull her off the sink. Why is your kid running around the house with a sippy cup looking for water like it's a goddamn desert?
Well, maybe she
cooking desserts.
Maybe she wasn't the one taking care of them at all.
And then Cece was in the bathroom playing in the toilet. Bella would tell her she was in there playing in the toilet, and she was just telling people, well, just a minute, because I got to finish, when she was making her cannolis and all that stuff.
What about the time when she left the babies in the crib and Cece was eating her own shit? And she was just watching her on the monitor for hours, watching the kid eat shit.
Okay, but think about it. She didn't go into the bathroom and grab her, right? She didn't grab her off the stairs. She didn't do any of that shit. Maybe she wasn't allowed to. And maybe
probably wasn't allowed to.
Maybe when those kids were screaming hysterically at her mother's house and she stayed outside gabbing on the phone, maybe she wasn't allowed to.
You know, it makes me wonder how many times Cindy was there while she was doing those fucking Thrive videos in the background. Remember, because we seen Sandy running back and forth all the time trying to hide from the cameras.
Right.
Now, when she did that makeup tutorial, Sandy was there because she brought Cece to her and she said, "It's okay, Mom, I've got it." And she really, I mean, the whole time, the kids are tearing my bathroom up. They were destroying my bath. They're destroying my bathroom. Yeah, the whole time.
And then remember, too, how she went ballistic when Cindy went to get her hair done. And she said, who's going to take care of the kids?
Right. Like, they're your fucking kids.
Yeah. So maybe she never did take care of them at all, ever. You know, the idea that she nursed those kids, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I've wondered about that myself.
Have you? Because I don't believe it. I mean, moms who nurse, there's a different connection there. Well, they're not nursing, right? If you watch closely in those videos, those babies lean toward Christopher Watts. They lean toward his face. They get right in his face.
Well, didn't she have a cheap boob job that was over the muscle that supposedly popped? I don't think you could even breastfeed with those things if you don't get them done properly.
Yeah, you can breastfeed with them, but I don't think.
Yeah, only if they're under the muscle, though.
I don't think she breastfed. I think she knew it was cool to say that.
Well,
she breastfed.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And she doesn't strike me as the type of person that would even want to deal with that. She'd have to take a painkiller first.
Well, I don't see her as a woman who bonded with those babies at all.
No, I don't see it either.
And here's another point. Maybe she wasn't allowed to. If she was batshit, okay, if she was totally like bona fide, diagnosed, whatever, if she had some serious issues going on, there would have been supervision from the day one.
Yep.
You know, they're not going to hand somebody who has serious mental illness a newborn baby. They're just not.
Right.
They're not going to say,
I just wonder why why there was, that's why I don't believe that the second one was even his. I'm sorry, but I don't.
I don't either.
I think he was being very careful about that.
And here's another thing. When Cece was born, Cindy and Ronnie promised to take Bella to the zoo. Guess who came along to the zoo and spent the entire day in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I remember you talked about that. That was weird. Who takes a newborn to the zoo?
Or if you just had a baby who wants to go to a zoo.
Yeah, right.
Not me. I didn't.
Exactly. And so if you think about it, okay, think of this possibility that she wasn't allowed to have access to those babies. What if when she was 32 weeks pregnant with Bella, what if the pregnancy before that everybody's talking about, what if there was a pregnancy before that, you know, the scumbag attackers accuse those of us they're attacking of having at age 14, right? All those possibilities are there. What if she was not allowed to take care of her own babies due to her mental state?
That would make sense if she got pregnant at an early age and her mother didn't believe in abortion, or she didn't believe in abortion, or if she couldn't keep the kid for just the same reason you said, and maybe she learned she could make money doing it.
At that age, she would have kept it a secret because of
exactly, yeah.
And she would
remember the photograph from her at the dance with Frankie. She looked pregnant in that photograph.
Yeah,
and that's why I think he went there with her to the dance, because she probably wanted to go and was like, I'm going to go. You're not going to stop me. And they were probably paranoid that she'd go, like, you know, mess around with somebody in the bathroom, you know, go and banging somebody in the bathroom or getting into drugs. And if she was pregnant, they would probably want her brother there to keep an eye on her.
Did you hear what her brother said in his police interview about
talking about all these guys wanted to bang her.
He didn't say bang, but something along those, like every guy would want to be with her or something like that. Like, really?
Yeah, that's kind of disgusting. Yeah.
That's probably the excuse they told Frankie. But I bet you any money, Mama Sandy sent him there to keep an eye on her.
Well, if she was,
because Shanann was probably a fucking handful. You know what I mean?
Well, if she was bona fide crazy, okay, and I'm talking serious mental illness, then they wouldn't have wanted her to go alone, and she probably never got invited to the dance. She probably didn't get invited to the dance. You know, I mean, that's the theory fits. There are so many different pieces to that it fits.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people looked at her sideways with the situation that happened with the drama teacher, because that was like a big deal. Like, they actually got reprimanded multiple times for being behind closed doors with one another. And she wrote him letters. Yeah. She wrote him a letter when she was 18 telling him that he turned her into the woman that she was today. And they continued to talk all the way up until her death. He even bought Thrive products off of her.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at this. Private Pirate says, from the nurse friend's profile, quote, I also have training in, is it perinatal or prenatal? Perinatal psychiatry.
Oh.
Yep. And I'm comfortable. It's hard for me to read this. Teaching psychiatric conditions.
Treating psychiatric conditions in women during pregnancy and while nursing.
I wonder if it's past my bedtime. Comfortable treating psychiatric conditions in women during pregnancy and while nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was missing, and I thought we found something to the fact that she was in another hospital for a few weeks too, in another state, wasn't she?
Indiana.
Indiana. April, May of 2016, before her neck surgery, right?
Yeah, bullshit.
Before the neck brace.
I think that's maybe when there was
her self-harm scar.
Yeah, I think there's some twins born around that
Check
time,
the
too.
knives on that one.
Yeah, really.
Mm,
And
yeah.
maybe that's why they don't mention the scars.
I think
I
that
wonder if
was
she
from,
did it in front of the kids.
I don't think she was with those kids. I really don't. I think
how
that,
do we know she wasn't a cutter herself, that she
yeah,
didn't do that
Yeah,
herself?
right.
You know, we don't know that, you know, for sure.
I don't think she had access to those kids. And I don't think Bella's was her first pregnancy. I don't even think it was her second pregnancy. I don't think she was able to have any time where she was the one taking care of the kids. Look at the video where she goes, "Oh, the kids are sleeping. I'm going to go to run to the post office."
Yeah.
And the kids weren't even in there. They were in daycare.
Yeah, they were sleeping probably at the daycare center, right?
Yeah, they were. She closed their bedroom door as she starts her live stream to act as if she just closed the door on the kids to go run to the post office. And then we actually looked into that. The kids were actually at daycare when she was saying that.
If that's the case, then again, it's the delusion. It's like maybe she had dolls like Mommy Ramblings likes.
She did. Remember, Set the Record Straight did those videos about the dolls, the creepy dolls. It was like never trust a doll person or something, and there was like a whole like study about the psychology of it, and then the stuff that she was doing with the weird. She was doing things with the dolls, remember, which led up to the doll picture of Chris.
And then get this,
she would pose dolls in the corner, and the kids started mimicking her too. The kids would put the kids would take the dolls and make them do weird things, like medical things, or like put in the corner on timeout and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's something else Cindy told me. Cindy had a very expensive doll collection, and it was a classy, Cindy's a classy woman, let's face it. If anybody that we've been observing in these videos has class, it's Cindy Watts, all right? She had a very pricey, very expensive doll collection. And these dolls were not from the United States. These dolls were from Europe. They were beautiful, okay? She gave those dolls to Bella, her first, I don't know. No, she had a couple grandchildren older, but she gave those dolls for Bella to have when she got older. They disappeared. She never saw them again.
She probably sold them on one of them marketplace stores.
Yes. Yep, she probably had a credit card issue going or something, or whoever handled her money decided to or something.
Yeah, she was just a hustler. She was robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what she was doing. She was hustling. When she wanted something, she'd figure out any way to get it. You know what I mean? And whether she could keep it didn't matter. As long as she had pictures of it to flex on social media, she was cool.
But again, I don't think it was her.
Well, there's a lot of new clothes in those closets with price tags on them that never even been worn, that all of them had. From the kids to her to Chris.
I could see her returning everything she probably purchased at some point, or trying to, because she was using those Macari and the gently used sites to sell. Remember when she wanted to sell Cece's boots, and Cece kept hiding her boots because she didn't want her mom to sell them, and she kept making Cece put them up by the window, and Cece kept stealing them back. Do you remember that, Mensa?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Cece had these boots. And I think there's some pictures of them when she was in North Carolina. They would look like little snow boots. And Shanann was trying to sell them on one of the marketplace things, and she kept taking them away from her. And Cece was like, "Screw you! I want my boots." So she just take them and go put them on, and then not let her mother take them off.
Crystal Clear said, "I saw one post where the sun was still shining, and SW said it was a long day, and the girls were in bed." And you know what? Yeah. Maybe they weren't even in bed. I'll bet you she was not allowed to be around them. I don't. It's hard for us to imagine that, because we've been listening to over 3 years straight about, oh, what a wonderful mother, right? So we haven't really been able to have this discussion freely because, we've been attacked for a few years. But if you think about it, if she was bona fide, and for them to accuse those of us that are attacking of having babies when we're 14 years old.
That's in your wheelhouse. Anytime you're accusing people of shit like that, it's because you're probably doing it yourself.
Well, and everything they accuse us of, they, lying about our careers, lying about our education, and then we find out that nursing program didn't even exist.
Having babies at young ages.
Yeah. So, and
getting their kids taken away.
Yep. So exactly. So if you look at it, if she was 14 years old and however young she was when she was diagnosed with whatever, then they are not going to hand a baby over to a person with severe mental illness to take care of, even for a day. They're not going to do it.
Well, Chris,
maybe that's what Cindy's
would
not
bathe
saying.
them. He'd feed them, bathe them, get their backpacks ready, get their breakfast
read
ready.
to them before bedtime.
Everything. Yeah, put them to bed. Yeah.
Didn't he have to wake them up in the middle of the night to feed them lunches through their nap? How do you have to wake up for a lunch break on your nap?
Exactly. At midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and why was he the one making their lunches in the morning?
Well, he made them supposedly when he made his because, and he even did their laundry, remember?
Yeah, he was just a subservient husband, Mensa. He just did whatever she said.
That's what she said. He'll do anything I say.
Yep.
Tell him to do. Go get me a glass of wine. He'll do anything.
Yeah, that video pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video really got under my skin, the way she treated him. And then talking shit about the kids. Remember she was bitching because Bella got into her makeup?
Oh, yeah. Ruined her lipsticks and stuff.
Yeah.
But she said, what was it she said in that one part? Something to the effect that I can't remember because this child that I love so dear got me off track or something. I don't know. It's crazy because Bella kept running there getting her lotion. It was crazy. That makeup tutorial video was
very telling. Very telling.
Not quite as hilarious as the butt video.
Oh my God. I don't even know if a lot of people have seen that, Mensa.
What was it called? The butt check?
Heart butt challenge.
Heart butt challenge. She's standing there in her underpants.
See-through Victoria's Secret panties.
And she
cottage cheese and all hanging out for all the world to see. Like, you don't show people that shit.
She put it on. She posted it online. Her panties standing there.
Mm-hmm. That when she was standing in the hall.
Yeah, and it was like on it, her husband and his coworkers and their friends see these pictures, and she's in the bathroom, with these tiny little panties on, spinning around like a show pony or something. Like, look at my body, the before and after.
Oh,
it's
here
like,
we
that's
go,
fucking embarrassing.
Here we go, Honey Badger and Paula. Michelle Vincente says, how does anyone talk about a dead person? God don't like ugly. God is a capital G. And then she says, period. I'll tell you what God doesn't like, Michelle. Scumbag attackers. What God doesn't like, child abusers. What God doesn't like, liars.
Or mothers who kill their children.
Yeah, exactly.
Or anybody who harms children for that matter.
I love these virtue signalers. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we better not talk about the fact that poor little Bella was
You're on the wrong channel, lady.
Yeah, really.
Mama Sandy's channel's down the street.
Yeah, go learn
how to cook. Yeah.
Go learn how to cook.
Yeah, and make pom-pom bathroom rugs. Which, by the way, she stole that image. Google that shit, and you will Google everything on her page, and you will see that she stole the first image she could grab off of Google Images for whatever it is that's up there. So she's not making hats. She ain't making pom-pom rugs. She ain't making cookies for everybody on Christmas. And if Sandy sends anybody food, do not fucking eat it, people. Please.
Well, I mean, if someone wants to eat food, she sends them. That's fine. But the whole idea, I mean,
not if she's a known poisoner and medically abused.
She isn't a known poisoner. Stop that. She is not a known.
No Benadryl and Tylenol. Who gave the kids that shit that night, huh? Sandy didn't want to, but Sandy had no problem doing it.
I think we need to teach you to start saying, in my opinion, before every sentence.
We are so past that, Mensa. We are so past that.
But no, I mean,
what's the worst they're gonna do? Write another scary Reddit thread about the witches coven over here? Fuck that. Hey, these people did what they did. You don't get 100% fucking accolades 100% of the time. We see you. Some of us fucking see you for what you are. That's on you. You take the good with the fucking bad. You people did this shit, and unfortunately, you plastered it all over for the world to see, and we can see. We can see that you're lying. We can piece it together because you're putting it on fucking Front Street. So if you got a problem with it, get off of social media.
That they were never on, remember?
Right, yeah.
Oh, they weren't on. No, the family was not on social media.
As they were saying they were not on social media. Sitting on social media while saying, I'm not
They
on
were
social media.
getting attacked and harassed and everything, but yet Frank could stand out there in a driveway and say, no, not personally.
I know, he backtracked in the same sentence.
Oh, man, yeah, it's crazy. Not personally. Yeah.
Sandy makes a mistake by putting Frank up there.
I'm guarantee I never got any proof, asking for proof.
Sandy can't get up and talk in front of people because she gives too much away. Dr. Phil is proof of that. Do you see the way he was looking at her? He even looked at her like sideways, like,
I asked for proof of that family being attacked. I don't know how many times, and I was told that I wasn't privy to that information. So.
Oh, of course, right? You know, because us type of people aren't privy to any information. Apparently, they can just say. Why is it that they can just say whatever, and because they say it publicly, like we're just expected to believe it? Like that's not how that works, Rusex. That is not how that works. I'm sorry that you perceive it that way. It's a shame that they perceive it that way because that's not how it is in reality. It might be in your little fucking bubble, but in the real world, we fucking see you.
Yeah. And when you're on a creator's channel as a mod and you're asking for this information, you're told, oh, no, you just have to take my word for it. No, I don't take anybody's word. I want proof. When you don't get that proof, you walk.
Exactly.
And you don't let people going around and keep saying that because I never got it, never seen it, never was shown, never proved. It didn't happen. End of subject.
What is the Bob Squad? Did I miss something? What's the Bobs?
Oh, yeah, you missed that. Well, we can't tell. Should we tell Honey Badger, you guys?
You guys can't tell me?
Well, one of the rules is we don't tell because the scumbags come in here.
Oh, it's like Fight Club? First rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club?
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was busy having babies and stuff. So I missed a lot of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, Paula, don't you? It's like I missed a decade of movies. Okay.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
I'll put it in the private comment thing, but we don't give that out.
Well, it says I'm automatically a Bob, so I guess I'll just take that as a win. How about that?
Honey, you're the biggest Bob of all.
Private Pirate.
You just don't know it.
I love that name, by the way, Private Pirate. I could barely say it half the time because I talk too fast. It's like blah blah blah.
Yeah, but that's our secret handshake, so keep it secret. I just sent it to your comment.
All right, let me get in there. Where am I at?
So keep it secret.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
And LOL
I'll guard it with my life.
LOL is lots of love.
Yeah, it's lots of love.
Loud.
So if you say LOL to a scumbag attacker, then you're giving them lots of love.
Oh, boy. I don't want to give them any love.
They're too nasty to notice, so it doesn't matter anyway. They hate it when
to them it's probably like to our Lord Lucifer some shit. How does it go? LOL.
Well, to them
our
it's
Lord Lucifer or some shit.
Like we're wearing a garlic.
I know the Satanists use LOL for something, and I just can't. I'm just too tired.
Well, that's okay. We don't need it here. But no, I think when we say lots of love to them, I think they feel like we're wearing a garlic necklace.
Probably are. You know what I mean? Probably are.
Okay, Truth Seeker says, what about Sandy? I can't read that well. Oh shoot. It goes faster than I do. Hold on. What about Sandy?
Somebody said earlier, had a highlighted comment and said something about how Shanann looked like she was one of those kids in those programs at school I don't remember what the word she said.
Like a special needs kid?
Where was it at? Let me see if I can find it.
Because one thing I think about Bella, I think Bella looked like an alcohol baby.
She said her high school pictures look like one of those kids that were constantly in and out of youth reform centers. This was St. Hudson.
Really? I think it looks more like maybe she was in the mental hospital. I mean, I'm not saying that to like be snarky.
Frankie probably could have been. I'm sure he had some issues at school as well.
I'm not saying it to be snarky. I really think that she may have had difficulty, serious difficulty. And that's the sad part about this with
steak pie.
With people trying to make it where they don't want people actually discussing the case. You know, maybe this case would be a good case for people to have an outcry for better mental health services.
This case should show a generation of people like where our society is going wrong. And you know, a lot of the things that Shanann does, a lot of these young kids are doing the same thing and living these lives, you know what I mean? Like that they can't sustain and they're crashing and burning. You know, this is like one of those tragedies that come along, you know, that's supposed to be a teaching tool for society. It's like this is the culmination of everything that could possibly go wrong.
Instead, people who act just as crazy as she seemed to be on those videos are all congregating to attack people.
Because I think they identify with her. I think that they probably, you know, might have given their kids drugs and accidentally been drugging them without realizing that you can't give kids Tylenol and Benadryl every night. You know what I mean? I think some people let her slide because they made similar mistakes as mothers, which is understandable. You know what I mean? But it's the amount of evidence that's there against this woman to say she's a saint. I mean, I did it, Mensa. I told you about how they were comparing her situation to 9/11. Never forget. Huh?
Well, I don't understand why anyone thinks they should be glorifying somebody.
And that she was just the best mother, that women across America could learn a thing or two from Shanann.
She did 90%. Yeah, 90% more than any other mother. Yeah, 90% more than most mothers do. Right.
What is it with trying to glorify somebody who treated her husband and children like she did?
And you know, I think a lot of these women are controlling and bossy and manipulative, and I do think they see themselves in her. You know, it's usually people. It's like a hive mind. You know what I mean? They can identify. They might have had similar traumas in their lives, similar situations. You know, some people can see it, and some people just don't want to see it because then it's a reflection of themselves. Just like Sandy, the way that Sandy is with this case, that's why she's so fucking hell bent on all this, and she's going so hard. It's because it's a reflection of her and what she did up until this point. You know what I mean? Now she's covering up for all her dirty secrets.
Yeah, I think.
Can't control everything,
she's covering up a lot. She's covering a lot of. I don't understand
there's a reason for like the Bible and like guidelines. You know, there's a lot of been studies being done about like, you know, ways to not live your life because there's consequences for them. You know what I mean? And it's not even on a religious thing, just on a human thing. And these people are violating other humans' rights, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially. You know, so there's a price to pay for that shit.
Do you know, honey? Can you answer Truth Seekers Crime Channel's question? I don't know that one. I don't know about that. She said, what about Sandy being in the basement? Something about a 9/11 call that Sandy was wanting to have scam insurance. I don't know about that. I don't know that. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, it's up there.
I don't know the way. It's hard for me to interpret what exactly you're trying to say, the way you worded it, and. I know, are you referring to Shanann's insurance policy? I mean, Sandy did live in the basement for a time. I don't know if she was there that night. I think Frank would more likely be there. I seen it. Straight made a good point in this comment section. He said something about Sandy, that it wouldn't be likely that Sandy would be there for something if Shanann was going through some shit, traumatic or with court or whatever, because they didn't get along, and Shanann probably wouldn't want her mother there, you know, bossing everybody around and controlling everybody and making it harder, because we all see how Sandy is. You know what I mean? That's no.
What about Sandy being in the basement? Something about a 9/11 call. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
But that is a picture.
worded.
That is a picture of Shanann when she was younger. Sure is.
Is that a tattoo on her arm?
How was she? 13, 14 there?
Yeah, that was, I think, 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
And see, she's a redhead. She is not a raven-haired Italian princess, people.
Yeah.
Even Cece, that's why I say about the other Chris, like her genes, her hair color, her eye color doesn't come from the Chris doesn't have any, there's nothing in Chris and Cece, let's just put it that way. And then their genes would be canceled out. Cece wouldn't look the way she does if Chris was her father. If you look at the way, you know what I mean? Like certain genes, when it comes to eye color and shit like that, certain things cancel each other out. Same thing with hair color. So for her to have blonde hair, I think, isn't Sandy's a redhead? Frank and
so, yeah.
Frank and Frank Jr. is like a dirty, sandy, blondish red. So
Frank
she just
has black hair.
What?
Doesn't Frank have black?
No, Frank didn't have black hair. Ronnie had black hair. Ronnie had like a full frickin' mullet, man. He had like a rock star mullet going. Frank has always had, if remember the picture where he's in the hospital with Shanann, he has red hair, and he had kind of like a Farrah Fawcett kind of bang sweep thing going.
I thought he had dark hair.
No, it's lighter. It's like a reddish, it's like a dirty blondish red. And now he's just bald. He's just balding.
My
and it's, you know.
I keep getting this error message that is having trouble.
And then Sandy, if you look at pictures of her from when she was young, she had that short ass, real mousy, tight, curly red hair that Shanann had, that Shanann was always trying to hide all the time. Shanann didn't like her hair.
Yeah, she wanted to be an Italian princess.
Yes, she did. And so did her mother.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Frank said he had 2 hot-headed Italian women under the same roof. Yeah.
And that would make sense because she would identify with like the MTV Jersey Shore bullshit. So you can see influences in her clothing and her style and her music choices that she thought she was like a Jersey girl, you know, like a fast partying Jersey girl, Italian Jersey girl. That's how she identified herself for a good couple years until she became a mom. And then she was trying to be the perfect, you know, successful revenge story. Perfect wife and mother and whatever.
Daughter, friend.
Yeah.
Worker, employee.
But you can see the Snooki influence in there for anybody who knows about Jersey Shore.
I know who that is.
You know, I'm sure Shanann had a couple nights of her getting shit-faced and half naked and dancing on tables, falling and losing her shoes and getting arrested somewhere, you know?
You
Pissing
guys,
outside
in
a parking lot.
I'm really tired when I was trying to navigate. I am, and I made the mistake because I usually do live chats at my desk, and I made the mistake of going into the comfy chair into the living room.
Oh, now you're dozing.
Yeah, and this is the exact same chair that I fell asleep in and started snoring that time.
Oh gosh!
Well, don't do that. Me and P Money will be sitting here like Mansa.
I know. I'm sitting here going, okay, I better go back to my desk, really, because I'm getting drowsy. But then I just looked up. We've been doing this for 3.5 hours.
Yes, we have. Time flies when we're having fun.
I know it. I love it. And I love starting off the year this way. And I just want to say something. This coming year, I think, is going to be kick butt. I think we're going to be able to hopefully get beyond the last couple years, you know, like
Mhm.
just get beyond. Just let
No,
that
we're
be.
starting this year off right, baby. You hear that, ladies? We're starting it off right
Well,
here. We got to set
but
the record straight in
I
here
was gonna
tonight.
say we were graced with his presence tonight.
Yeah. Now you people can go suck a toe that think Honey
Yeah,
Badger and
suck
set
Mensa's
the
little
record.
toe.
Men's all the same person. Take that and stick it in your bippy and or your pipe
Yeah.
and smoke it or whatever. Shit.
Yeah, really. They're so jealous of us because we have set the record straight, actually giving a shit about our safety and our well-being. You know, he's got our back. He totally.
Well, they got
he-
Martin Dehan over there fucking destroying people's lives.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the scumbag
Yep.
attackers have.
It is good versus evil over here. It is good versus evil.
At the same time, you know, it is good to stand up to the evil. However, it is exhausting.
Yeah.
So, if you guys don't mind, I think we should probably say Happy New Year and
Yes, Happy New Year, everybody. It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a
Happy
great
New
time.
Year. Yeah.
And
Y'all
I'm
have
so
a good
glad
one.
you guys- I'm so glad you guys jumped up here because if not,
I
I would
wouldn't
have
have missed this. This been
Yeah.
fun.
I know I still I'm like I know dang well in the morning I'm gonna be thinking, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. Instead I'm like, oh, I hope you don't feel like we're sexually harassing you.
I know. I didn't know what to say either because we were blabbing and I just got sidetracked and I was like, oh shit.
He's probably like shaking his head going, oh my goodness, I can't believe Memphis said that. If it helps any straight, I can't believe I said it either. He said he would be
He'll be all right.
He'll be okay. I'm sure. You know.
But I'm really glad he jumped
He's
up.
tough. Yeah,
That's
he's a tough
very
dude.
cool.
I think
All right,
he can-
guys. Well, I'm going to jump off. Bye, P Money.
Yeah,
Love
me
you.
too.
I'll
Love
see you
you
around
too.
somewhere. Miss Mensa,
Okay.
I'll see you.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
else, it was
Good
fun.
night,
Love you
MM.
guys.
Good night, chat. Good night, Bob.
Good night, everyone. Should I say it? I'll say it. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. Don't forget your vitamin D and know that you are loved. Happy New Year, everyone.